question the beginning of the year, capable of doing great things, but he's now 4-6. Mound opponent today is Max Posey, a right-hander who is 4-5, but 2-0 without allowing an earned run in 2 starts against the Lancaster Barnstormers. So today could be a challenge. The Barnstormers have had it reasonably easy the first 2 games of this series with 18-5 and 5-1 wins over the Genomes. Right now we're going to take a break. We'll be back with Atlantic League Baseball coming your way next. See the lineup for the Wild Health Genomes here today. They've got former major leaguers 2 through 6 in the batting order, including former American League home run champion Chris Davis of the Oakland A's. He's limited to a DH role with the Genomes, and he has yet to unload, but he did drive in a couple of runs here in the series opener on Friday night. So Paredes, Davis, Sierra, Shaw, and Pie, all with backgrounds in Major League Baseball. They've got many on the pitching staff for this ball club as well, and they are overall 36 and 34 on the season. The Barnstormers in the field today with Devon Torrance making the first start since his return from the death of his father, Sean Dunston Jr., with a lot of ground he can cover out in center field. And the infield, what we've become accustomed to seeing now, Cordero largely taking over at first base. Dugan is back to being an outfielder and a lot of time DH for this Barnstormers club. And Colton Shaver doing something that he does not often do, and that is catch in the daytime. So Shaver getting the nod once again behind the plate here today. On the hill is Cameron Gann, right-hander from Crandall, Texas. And you see the numbers, and they're a little bit puzzling. That ERA is higher than the other numbers would seem to indicate. He's given up 77 hits in 72 and 2/3 innings. He's walked 26. He has struck out 83. When he gets it rolling, he can pile up a lot of strikeouts in a hurry. The last 4 starts, though, just haven't been up to the standards we were accustomed with. Gann still seems to be throwing well, but gives up chains of base hits, gets himself into some trouble. Things began to turn around. He allowed only 1 run in the first 5 innings against York back on Tuesday in the second half opener, and then gave up a couple of hits and a couple of runs before getting it out in the 6th inning. He is facing the switch hitting first baseman Luke Becker as we get this afternoon's ball game underway. And Pete, welcome.
I was gonna say, you got this. You're good at this. I can sit here and listen to you all day and not have to do anything. I love it.
First pitch off the outside corner for a ball, 1-0. Gann, as is the case with virtually everybody on this Barnstormers pitching staff, brings it in the 90s. swing and a miss.
We were
And
talking
it's back to
earlier,
1-1.
and you had mentioned that he was straight over the top, and I kind of was interested to see, and you were not lying. That is because it's a different angle than you're normally used to seeing.
Fastball past Becker, and Gann works ahead at 1-2. The Barnstormers have 6 quality starts in their last 9 games, 5 in their last 6 home games. And if Gann gets back into that rhythm, and he was in it earlier, he has 4 quality starts, but all earlier in the season, then this team could just get on some kind of incredible winning streak, because there's still, even without Ladarius Clark, who had a severe injury the other night, there's still enough offense that if you get a pitching staff dominating, the Barnstormers will rack up a lot of wins. Swing and a miss. Nothing but fastballs so far from Gann. Becker goes down on strikes. That's the 84th for Cameron this year. He was 1 off the league lead, trailing Mitch Lamson of Southern Maryland coming into action today.
And that's kind of what you talked about earlier, just giving up those strings of base hits. If you're in the zone and you can get in that role, sometimes when you kind of start moving a little too quick and you start to give up those strings, that's when things can go south. But from what you see, I mean, it's a different arm angle, and it's just, hey, here's what I got, go get it.
And he's got a good variety of breaking pitches as well. You didn't see it on the Becker at bat. Now
you don't have to use it.
Yeah, Jimmy Paredes steps in, swinging and missing at the first offering. 95 on the stadium gun.
Yeah, if you got 95, use it until they hit it.
There's a breaking ball, and it had him fooled.
You weren't kidding there. That's those 2 quality pitches I've seen so far. I mean, that's a fantastic breaking ball, especially from that arm angle and that slot. When you get that rolling off the high fastball and it looks like it's coming at the exact same arm slot, you're swinging fastball, and then that thing just goes. That's not even a bad pitch there, just to be able to kind of change that eye level a little bit to go right back to that breaking ball if you got it. I mean, you could set things up from that. You can go back in on the hands, and now you got that breaking ball right away.
Paredes awaiting the 1-2 offering. Fastball high and wide. Ball 2-2 strikes. Chris Davis, the designated hitter, waits on deck. There's the breaking ball, strike 3 call. That is a deadly mix, Pete.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, the nice part about, obviously you got to 0-2 there, so you never really want to sit there and play with too many pitches, but the fact that you missed that high fastball sets you up to do all those other things. You're now only at 1-2, so even at that fastball that he missed outside isn't the worst thing in the world, because now you got the guy leaning out there. So he threw that backdoor breaking ball in there, and you could see it was just kind of that lean out and then freeze.
2 outs. Here is Davis. Gann fires high and tight. Ball 1-0, and well, that will have Chris Davis thinking a little bit. You can see the major league experience in Davis with the Brewers and the A's. Guy who rattled off 133 home runs in a span of 3 years. Never hit for a high average. And he's not the tallest guy in the world. We're not talking Aaron Judge here at 6'7". He's only 5'11".
Well, he generates a lot of power out of that 5'11".
Excellent looking breaking ball. Gann uses it to get back in the count. 2 balls and a strike. Wild Health is the naming rights holder of the field in Lexington, Kentucky, and the big healthcare provider in that area. Ground ball toward the middle. Gann loses his glove. The ball tips off second base and gets away from Mercedes.
It's
an infield base hit.
There's nothing you can do about that anyway. Even if you come get that, I think he's going to get there. It's just a bad luck little hop there. I don't think there's anything you can do anyway. So that you cue balled that off there. Even if you come get that over the bag, you're coming through and trying to make that throw. He's out of the box. It is what it is. You get back right on it now and don't let those multitude of hits come now. You got the first 2. It's always a tough thing when you get those first 2 outs via strikeout, and then you're just sitting there like, I'm gonna roll, I'm good, and then boom, one little thing like that, and then it just kind of, those are always the tough ones.
Outside and low, ball 1. With Gann on the mound, it just seems that there have been a number of games where it's been strikeout or base hit. And we see it here. He made a quality pitch.
Oh, yeah.
Against Davis. You can't argue that.
No, nothing wrong with that.
Tough break, ground ball off the second base bag.
And it's almost like you'd rather have a sharp single to left than something like that, because now you're kind of feeling like, oh, it's not that necessarily like that woe is me feeling, but you're like, that should have been an out. It wasn't a hard hit. He's on base, and he shouldn't be. And now you missed the next two pitches, and now you start to get in the thing like, well, if I walk this guy, now I got first and second, and I still got to get out of this thing.
To the outside corner, a called strike. His fastball at times erratic in this first inning. The breaking pitch hasn't been. He's been able to throw it as needed for strikes.
Yeah, and you can see 2-0. That's a very gutsy pitch to be able to throw 2-0. You've got to have a lot of confidence in that pitch 2-0 there.
2-1, fastball is met and popped up to shallow right. Mercedes back, Dugan in. Kelly Dugan with the catch, and Gann completes the first inning with little harm done. One infield base hit with 2 outs, that's all. And we'll go to the bottom of the first in the Lancaster Barnstormers in a 0-0 tie. Starting lineup for the Lancaster Barnstormers, and the one change for today is that Devon Torrance is back in the lineup for the first time in about 4 weeks. He last played on a Sunday 4 weeks ago. We saw him come back Friday night, and on his first swing, after sitting out for better than 3 weeks, he doubled off the right field wall. So welcome back to Devon Torrance. He is in the outfield today. Anderson Felice getting the afternoon off, and Trayvon Robinson, who's been swinging the bat extremely well for the Barnstormers as of late. 3 hits, including a home run last night, in the lineup today as the designated hitter. Anthony Peroni, generally the designated day game catcher for the Barnstormers, but not in the lineup today. He took a foul tip off the toe the other night. I think that has him a little bit hampered. You see the defense for the Genomes with Chase Below doing the catching today. Gavin Johns in the lineup at shortstop, and then you've got all those ex-big leaguers scattered around.
It's every time you say that name, like, you're gonna catch me chuckling every single time. I think it's fun. I love minor league baseball team names. I think they're the best thing in the world. But every time you say that one, you're gonna see a smile creep on my face. It's I love it.
Starter today is Max Povsey, a one-time Seattle Mariner for a short time, 3 major league appearances. Povsey, you see the overall numbers, and they don't look good. But in his 2 starts against the Barnstormers, he's given up 9 hits and 1 unearned run in 11 innings. The Genomes have beaten the Barnstormers 3 times. Povsey's had 2 of them. A 2-1 win. He actually was not involved in the decision in that game. He outdueled Niall Ball here on a Sunday, and then the other time he shut down the Barnstormers also on a Sunday at Lexington. 5-0 was the final score. He'll face Sean Dunston Jr. leading off for the Barnstormers today. Dunston with a 5-hit game on Friday night, and he stepped in with a chance for a 6th hit and flied out to center.
Wow. You barely ever get a chance for 6, much less get to 5.
To Dunston, a first pitch strike from Povsey. It is 0-1. The Barnstormers just have not been able to figure out this slender 6'7" right-hander out.
It seems like, I mean, no offense to him, but it seems like everybody else has.
Inside for a ball.
Would
it
you
is
say 6'7"?
1-1. Yep.
I was gonna say, looks like 6'12".
Very slender guy.
I mean, when you're looking at 63 innings and 87 hits given up, and then couple that with the 31 walks, so you can see why he's got a 7-1-4 here. But there's just some teams that you face, and you kind of have their number.
Dunston bats 2-1. Mercedes on deck, and then Dugan. The motion and a Shaw. He reached for it partially. The pitch got the plate anyhow. And to Dunston, it is now 2-2. One of the things Sean does extremely well, and I seem to bring this up every night that he's leading off a game, but he takes so many pitches leading off. He does a great job giving everybody else a look.
That's always one of you could go two different ways with leadoff hitters. If you get a pitch, you swing at it, you get it. And then the guys who just are kind of those grinder leadoff hitters that are like this, that wait till they get a pitch that's something they're really looking for. You know, you talk about, I mean, the Phillies kind of do it differently. You got Kyle Schwarber, who's hitting, 2-something, but has 20,000 home runs. And he's not somebody who's going to see a lot of pitches for the next guy behind him, but he's a guy who can generate runs right away. To me, I'm more of the prototypical, I like this kind of guy at the top. I like the guy who's just going to battle you because it sets the tone for the pitcher. I'm sitting there thinking, man, if this is what I have to deal with all day, throwing 7, 8, 9 pitches to get the first out of the game, now I've had to use all my stuff. I've had to use everything I've got, and the entire dugout there knows, what's on, what's working, what's not.
Payoff again to Dunston, and another foul, so pitch number 8 is
there
coming
you go.
up.
Yeah.
And he does this on a daily basis,
awesome.
and Mercedes is just like it. So very often you'll see the opposing pitcher in the first inning throw 25, 30 pitches because he's got to get through these two at the top.
Yeah, and we sit there, I coach high school baseball. We sit there and try to preach 15 pitches and under. That's not possible when you got 9 pitch at bats.
3-2, sharp ground ball, pulled foul.
I love it. This is the kind of stuff that this gets my juices flowing. I like this kind of stuff. I'm not sure I love his pants there. I've seen that trend now. It's like they wear the short little football pants, it looks like. I'm not in love with the pants trend, but you know what? I don't play anymore, so they do what they want. I'd also hate facing him just because I'm not trying to throw 10 pitches every at-bat to this guy. Oh.
Popesy ready to go, 3-2. Dunston swings, hits a fly ball to right. Way up there, Chris Shaw coming in. He'll have the play, and that is out number 1. But again, if you're going to make an out leading off a game, waste 9 pitches in doing it.
Absolutely.
Here is Melvin Mercedes, the second baseman. Melvin on an 8-game hitting streak coming in. Mercedes has been on base nearly half the time in his last 20 games. His on-base percentage, .484 in that stretch. And he's another guy who will simply work the count. To Melvin, he'll take a strike. It is 0-1. Kelly Dugan, the right fielder, waits on deck.
Just curious, you've seen a lot more games than I have this year. Does he bunt much?
Not as much as you would think.
No? I mean, he
can.
Yeah. And that's what you can kind of see just based on where they're playing him at third base. He is drawn in. He's drawn in away, so he's got to be a little more pull than most. But because they have him shaded a little bit up the middle on that side. And, I mean, to me, I would – again, I love bunting. I love all that kind of stuff. But you get within 3 feet of that line over there, and you're standing on first base.
He works the count to 2 balls and a strike. Does Melvin Mercedes, switch hitter, in between 2 pure left-handed batters.
That's again always beneficial if you can sit there and you can have, you start with a lefty and then you have a guy who can go switch around both sides.
2-1 pitch. Mercedes sends it skyward. PA over, but that will get to the hill, and Melvin is in at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Another guy who comes to the plate and works the count, sees a lot of pitches, is Colton Shaver, the catcher in the number 5 slot. He has had so many 3-2 counts lately, it's been ridiculous.
So this is kind of interesting. It's not that I like the way they're playing him, but if you look at the outfield defense, if we can get a shot of that at some point, they are played on the line in left field. A little
breaking ball, smoked the second, 2 hops right at Paredes. It is 2 up and 2 down for the Barnstormers here in the first inning, and now Kelly Dugan will step in. Kelly hitless last night, .330 with 23 home runs. He has just gone into a couple of unbelievable spells where he has been utterly locked in at the plate. But now his last home run was last Saturday night. In fact, his last extra base hit. He's had some singles this week. Chopper here, and again, Paredes with the play. Well, the inning started with a 9-pitch at bat, and he's through it in 15.
Yeah, well.
Nothing across for the Barnstormers in the bottom of the first, and at the end of 1, there is no score. It is Princess Day here at Clipper Magazine Stadium, and some of our princesses are enjoying ice cream on the hillside.
Oh, man.
It starts already.
Look at her. She's dumping it. Oh, my God. That's...
Sunday afternoon ice cream footage.
Yeah, that's...
Last night was farm show night,
Oh,
though,
my
and
goodness.
I had not just one, but two incredible milkshakes brought to me last night.
yeah? What flavors?
One was chocolate, and one was a hybrid chocolate and vanilla.
Oh,
It was
okay.
layered.
Did they have any other, like, because I know the farm show always does a different flavor. Like when they have the actual farm show in Pennsylvania, they did one was like a banana one year. I don't know if I'd like a banana milkshake.
Oh, I've
Yeah.
had I had a banana milkshake on our first trip to Lexington.
Yeah.
And it was a slice of heaven.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm into the banana milkshakes.
All right. Is it like a banana pudding kind of?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I guess I could do that. That wouldn't be too bad. I think banana's a tough flavor to kind of replicate because it's not really like when I eat a banana, I don't really think about like any flavor. But if you can make a good banana milkshake, I like the banana pudding with the little what are they? The little
Vanilla
wafers on
wafers,
top.
yeah.
Those are good. Living down south, you get some good pudding like that.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
It's a Carolinas thing.
Yeah. Yes, it is. Yep.
Here's Chris Shaw, the right fielder, leading off the second inning against Cameron Gann. A right-hander from Texas brings it home. His fastball upstairs. Ball 1-0.
What's your favorite kind of milkshake? What flavor? If you just had like any milkshake brought to you right
I'll
now.
tell you, I'd have to go back to my childhood for that. Well, not childhood, actually late adolescence.
Okay.
We had this diner in Rochester, New York, my hometown. And my grandmother would take me there. I would run her on her errands, and then she would take me to this place. It was one of those Greek places, Louis.
Yeah.
And, they had the best milkshakes. And I have to go back to try and figure out what my favorite was. Might have been cherry.
Oh,
Might have been
wow.
cherry.
Cherry milkshake. All right.
3-0. Swing and a miss. Shaw may have helped out there. It's 3-1.
Yeah, that's the green light where you're trying to get that up and away or up and in pitch, middle in pitch, and just kind of deposit. But yeah, you probably swung a ball 4 there. But you take that as a pitcher for sure.
3-1 served up outside. Ball 4, and Shaw's on with the leadoff base on balls here in the second inning, bringing on Felice Pie, the left fielder, who tried his hand at pitching the other night in the 8th inning, and that didn't go so well. In that 8th inning, he did get Mercedes on a pop-up on a 3-1 pitch leading off, hit Dugan through 3 walks in a row.
Oh boy.
Got a comebacker and tried to start the double play by throwing home and missed by 10 feet.
Okay.
And that didn't go so well. His career has. Foul ball back to the net, and it's 0-1 on PA.
Those are the ones as a pitcher you kind of like. They walk back in the dugout or the game's over. And like when position players have to pitch, it's one way or the other. Like you're up 18-5 or down 18-5. So your attitude after the game, normally when you lose by that, like there's nothing you can do. You kind of just it is what it is. So you go into the dugout and all that, and you look at him and go, "See, it's a lot harder than you think."
Ball 1 is high. 1 ball, 1 strike on PA. The center fielder, Teodoro Martinez, waits on deck. Wait till you see Martinez ritual. He kicks the bat all the way to home plate. Leaning over. It's almost like a Chuck Berry duck walk.
Yeah.
1-1. And PA drives a foul to the left. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The Genomes have a number of different jerseys. We've seen a darkish blue this weekend, a light blue. Now we have gray jerseys. They also have a pink one.
What's on the hat? I haven't seen the hat. What's on the hat?
They may
Is
have
it
the gnome on there now.
Okay.
1-2. Gann delivers, and that's poke foul.
My medical knowledge isn't up to snuff, I guess. So
Well, they
I
were-
don't know what a picture of a genome would what it would be. Okay. Well, he's gonna lick the bat, so that always works.
It's what's supposed to be a DNA sequence on the stitches of a baseball.
Okay, I get that.
It's been their logo.
Yeah, that's clever. That's not.
Their original slogan. I'm not sure how much they use it anymore. Baseball is in our DNA.
Okay.
I like that.
Yeah, not bad.
1-2 pitch. PA with a pop fly out to left, and Torrance will chase that to the foul line and give up.
We got a fan out there made the catch. You should get a half an out for that. I got some real good tweaks to baseball. I'll tell you about them in a little bit. Let's see. This is just good positioning. Look at that. He just read the scouting report, watched it all the way in.
That's perfect.
It's tough to make on that
uneven
hill.
terrain.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, on that hill, that's a tough play. Good for you, young man.
You'll find out he's coming to Township, and
Yeah, we'll take him.
we'll take him.
Absolutely. I was telling you, we were off air. We were talking the last time I was on this field. I was in the other dugout. We won a league championship.
Still 1-2 on Felice Pie.
It's a good pitch. Good block too. That's always I cannot believe just the like that. Because if that ball would have gone away, we would have been like, man, he got to block that ball. But if he blocks it, you think, yeah, he's got to block that ball. So there's no winning there.
Shaver's been good at it.
It's like a hockey goalie. Like, here, we're going to throw this as hard as we can at you. Your job's to stop it. And if you don't, now we're mad at you. But we're not going to throw it everywhere. We're not going to throw it where we want to every single time.
Here's a 2-2.
Like
Again
that.
bounced.
Oh, my
off the
goodness.
chest protector of Shaver a second time. Gann had excellent command of the breaking ball in the first inning, and now not so much. He's bouncing it too far ahead of the plate to really coax the swing out of PA.
Yeah, and you can kind of see that he's rushing a little on the way up. And again, not to get too mechanical, because there's not a lot of mechanical changes you can do in game, but it's just you get a runner on, he gets a little quick. That arm doesn't have time to get to the right spot, and he's just kind of falling off toward first base, like you can see there.
And he gives up his second straight
Yeah.
walk, and now there's trouble in the top of the second inning.
So if you can, sorry, I don't mean to interject, but if we can go back and kind of watch that pitch, you'll see him kind of fall off early, and that it just doesn't give your arm time to climb. So he gets up there, and he's already started to, at this point, boom, he's out. Like, that's out, and his arm just has to try to get to a spot, and it doesn't have time to get there. So now your rhythm, your timing, your tempo is all off, and you just can't get there. Oh.
Back-to-back walks to start the second inning. Martinez stands in, not the .330 average plus that he hit for Charleston last year at all. Gann seeking a double play ground ball, and he's
there it is
low
again. He's just fallen into that pattern, and the more you had talked about getting into those little, rhythms of bad habits is I mean, because you can get into rhythms for both sides, but he's in a rhythm of that bad habit where he's falling off early. He's not staying behind the baseball and letting his arm climb to get on top of it, so he can't drive that ball where he wants to. If he could stay and tucked in a little bit longer, he'll have a little better success with putting that ball where he wants to.
Good fastball for a strike. It is 1-1. Gann with a season high of 5 walks. That was 2 starts ago at Lexington against the Legends, the original Lexington team, in a 6-3 loss. He gave up all 6 runs in 5 innings. Next offering, Martinez swings over the top of a fastball, and Gann battles back to 1-2.
So this is a count now where with the 2 previous walks, you got to go now. Like, you don't want to get to 2-2, because then you're back in technically a plus count for a hitter. So right now you got to throw your best pitch. You're trying to get a ground ball somewhere. Get a lead out if you can. Get 2 in the middle if you got the shot.
Here's a 1-2, and it's popped up. Andretti Cordero is there. Infield fly would have been in force anyway. 1 out. 2 runners on. Chase Below, the catcher, will try to break the scoreless deadline. 224 with 9 home runs for Velo on the season. Sharing the catching duties with former York Revolution receiver Carlos Castro. And it's been a little bit harder for Velo to get playing time lately because Castro had been so hot at the plate. The Barnstormers cooling him off this series, though, just 1 out of 7. Velo seeing his first action here this weekend. Louisiana native against the Texan, who went to Stephen F. Austin, not too far away from the Louisiana border.
I love what I'm seeing in that backstop right now. Just the ability to sell out, and that ball's 58 feet, and it's deadened. It's blocked, and it ain't going anywhere. And there wasn't even a thought of going to third on that.
Back to opening night, April 21st. This was the Battery, and there were 3 wild pitches. But Shaver has been able to recover from that in a hurry. I have to admit, I felt rather insecure about the catching after there were like 3 wild pitches, 7 stolen bases for Gastonia in that game. But Colton Shaver has just been stellar behind the plate ever since that night. And now you feel really comfortable with him back there. 1-1 on Velo. Gann serves it low. 2 balls and a strike. Gavin Johns, the shortstop, is on deck. Barnstormers won that game, by the way.
Really?
Hard to fathom with all of that going on.
I didn't even think to ask. I just assumed it was a foregone conclusion. You give up 3 wild pitches or pass balls, whatever they were, and 7 stolen bases. You don't give up 7 stolen bases and win a game.
It was 5 to 2.
No, it was 7 stolen bases, and it was 5 to 2.
3 balls, 1 strike. Gann fires, and he is wide with that. He's walked his 3rd of the inning. This is very uncharacteristic of Cameron Gann.
So this is where I'd be curious to see some previous footage of him and see what if it's constant with the front side kind of leaning out, because in the first inning it wasn't something that you necessarily noticed, but you can kind of see like when he gets up to that balance point and that left shoulder, his lead shoulder, the glove side, when that starts to go, it starts to take everything else with it. So it starts to take his back hip, it starts to take his throwing arm, and as soon as that kind of goes, you're kind of at the mercy of where it's going, because once that kind of opens up, it's a hard train to stop, especially with a guy who throws 95. To be able to be a little more relaxed and kind of get out over that front foot and drive the ball downhill, that to me is just it's a small touch, it's a small miss, because you're talking about 3 to 4 inches, maybe less from the mound. 3 to 4 inches when you miss from there, you go 60 feet 6 inches away. You're missing by 2 feet now. So it's a small tweak, but in the middle of the game, that's the hardest thing to do, is to really feel that. You got to sometimes just like stop yourself and then find something that works.
Gavin Johns swings and misses at the heat. It is 0-1. Mark Johnson using one of the Barnstormers' 3 timeouts to try and get Gann righted here in the 2nd inning.
Sometimes that's all it takes, is just somebody going out there and saying, hey, look, let's slow down, get back to what was working in that first inning, get yourself a ground ball, and let's get out of it.
0-1 by him again for a 2nd strike. It's 0-2. Gann will tend to throw a lot of pitches in a game. He is not necessarily economical. Chance to get out of it here with bases loaded, 1 out. 2 strikes to Johns, and the pitch is driven to center. This should get 1 home. Dunston with the catch, and the throw will go to 3rd. A sacrifice fly for Gavin Johns. He drives in his first Atlantic League run as Shaw comes home, and the Barnstormers drop behind by a run with Luke Becker stepping in. Still 2 runners on and now 2 outs.
And 0-2 there, and you got your out, but that's where you know that he's kind of thinking, well, I've spiked 3 or 4 breaking balls this inning, and he's blocked them all. So granted, like, credit to the backstop, credit to the catcher there. You're sitting there, but do you want to just give up a free run by just spiking another breaking ball? So that tells me that pitch is not a lot of confidence on both sides there. And to be able to, and it tells you it's a little bit more confidence on the fastball.
Becker swings, and he pounds one straight away. Dunston started back, now coming in for the catch. So no hits in the inning, but the Genomes pick up the first run. 3 walks and a sacrifice fly do the trick, and we'll go to the bottom half of the 2nd inning, 1-0 in favor of Wild Health. The Genomes take the lead with 3 walks and a sac fly in the top half of the second inning, and now the middle of the Barnstormers lineup will try to be the first crew to solve Max Povsey. Again, the rest of the Atlantic League has had quite a bit of success against Povsey this year. The Barnstormers absolutely have not. And this is the 3rd time that Lancaster has faced him, still without an earned run in 12 innings of work. And they have some hits and drawn some walks, but they just can't put anything together. He outdueled Brent Teller for a 5-0 win back on Sunday, May 22. And then a few weeks later here in the series finale, the Genomes won 2-1. Povsey and Ball each giving up 1 run. The Barnstormers' run was unearned thanks to his own bad pickoff throw. Cordero will lead off. My nickname for him is Steady Andretti.
I saw that on the little notes here. That was you?
He's hit
Gotta love a good
safely
nickname.
in 42 of the last 50 games.
Oh, boy. That's got to be 84%.
I think so. Well, your students will end up in good shape.
Yeah.
You can do math.
All right.
Cordero stands in. Povsey misses just away. It's ball 1.
Ross has got some pretty flashy shoes on out there. I can't tell if they're orange and he's trying to get away with them being close to red, or get a close-up of those things.
Ross Styles
Ooh.
to the inside corner. Strike taken. He had Cordero bailing.
Yeah.
This guy's only
There they are.
there's Ross.
Okay.
It's about a
Look
shade
at
off.
you.
It's about
yeah,
a shade off.
It's close enough. Look at that. I'll bet he's got the dill pickle seeds, too.
Line drive past the second baseman Paredes, and a base hit for Cordero.
That, to me, is an amazing at-bat. That's 3 pitches. But to me, the ability to kind of stay in on that fastball after you were just knocked off the plate with that breaking ball. He jumped out and bailed on that last pitch. And then I'm sitting there thinking, I'm probably getting that again. But he stood in there, got a fastball, hit it up the middle, 6 inches outside that glove. Woo.
Cordero will either end up back in a major league organization after this year, or he could be a Barnstormer for a while. He's still relatively young, good corner infielder. Swing and a miss, down a strike is Colton Shaver. We've already raved about his defensive prowess this afternoon. The guy also carries a pretty wicked bat. 11 home runs on the year, and he can hit a ball a long way. Ball 1, strike 1 to Colton. He's hit well against this Wild Health team, .441 in the season series. In case you're wondering, Pete, he goes 6'1", 250.
I was wondering. I'm just looking through all these stats here. I'm trying to see if... Ooh.
High
Get
pop
out.
fly.
Get out.
The catcher Velo
He
seeking
looks like
the
he's got an eye
skies,
on it.
and
Oh,
he has a play
yeah.
right up against the screen. Shavers made catches there too, but you always want to throw the bat away in disgust when that happens.
Yeah.
Could a little wind pop up from blowing in from center? Here,
That's a good play, because especially in a park that you're not necessarily super familiar with, you have to trust the fact that, and sometimes you'll see catchers come out and start to walk off the why can't I think of what this is called? Warning track.
The
There we
warning
go.
track.
That's what it's for. It's warning you.
the
oh boy, Peter.
The apron.
Yeah. So sometimes they'll
You're
walk it
getting
off
old
and see
before you're old.
how many steps it'll take, and you can kind of, you got to be able to trust the fact that once you hit that, you're close. And again, if a catcher doesn't make that play, you're like, come on, man, you got to. But if he does, you're like, yeah, you should catch that.
And if you're the hitter, you just
Yeah.
wanted one more
Come
foot.
on. Yeah, you're just sitting there going, come on, come on. Especially when it comes like right down and almost seems to skirt the little netting. Oh, I'm having trouble right now. I think it's because I'm looking for a stat here, but you probably know the stat. I don't even have to ask you. I want to know how many stolen bases he's got on first base.
Cordero?
Yeah.
He's not actually a terribly fast guy. He's just 1 for 3.
Yeah, looks like. Just thinking, because his times to home are not fantastic. I don't have him on, but I'm saying he's got to be one. Let me see. I'll give you a reading here, and then I'll time it and see if I get close. He's got to be 1.6. I'm going to do it. I used to have a stopwatch in my bag. I got to do it on my phone.
Foul back, it's 2-1.
All right, we're going to see if I'm anywhere close, Dave. If I can get my password in here. Uh-oh. Hey, I got it.
Well, it's the runner's count. 2 balls and a strike. Robinson had 3 hits, including a home run last night.
All right, here we go.
He's up to
I say
299.
1.6. First movement. Oh, he goes over.
Straight throw to first, and Cordero is back in.
You always love the fan anytime they pick over. Boring. You heard that guy. That's the first thing I hear. All right. What do you think, Dave? Time to home plate. I say 1.64. Give me a guess here.
You just got. I'm not the best at this. It does seem a little bit long.
Right,
Ball 3 is high,
1.47 there, but I might have been a little quick on the trigger. So let's see, 1.47 again.
That's always my issue with when you're dealing with microseconds. Yeah. You've got the human reaction time factor built in.
Boy, if you could see me up here, it looks like I'm filming. All right, here we go. I'm going to try to time everything up here.
Robinson awaits the 3-1, and that is yanked into right field, a base hit. Cordero moves to second. Robinson continues to swing the bat incredibly well from the left side of the plate.
I said 1.64. What's it say, Dave?
1.61.
1.61.
I'll trust your judgment.
All right. I could have also just held that until it said 1.61.
Robinson, 21 out of his last 48 overall. Boosts his average up over 300 for the first time. Jake Hoover, the shortstop, steps in. This is a fun player to watch. .231 hitter. He hit his second home run of the year onto the hillside and left, mind you, the other night.
Okay. It's a poke. There's nobody holding him.
Outside, a ball to Hoover. It's 1-0. Jake also has 11 stolen bases.
Okay, so we need him on.
This guy can run.
Let's get a little single in the gap, go first to third, have the score, and then we can steal second with a guy on third. Let's just prognosticate there.
Jake takes ball 2 upstairs. Well, the Barnstormers down by a run, but looking to fight back here in the bottom of the second. Solid singles by Cordero and Robinson. Around that excruciating pop foul by Shaver that almost got out of play. .2-0 pitch. Hoover couldn't hold on the breaking ball away.
That's
that
one
so
where
easily could have been ball 3.
He's sitting there thinking, okay, 2-0. He's been out of the zone a little bit, and when he's in the zone, it's kind of a meatball. He's going to give me something to hit because you don't want to go 3-0. You just kind of guess one pitch, one spot, and I don't think that's what he was guessing.
Left-handed batting Trace Lair waits on deck. 2 balls and a strike against Posey. 2 on, 1 out. Right-hander sets. Hoover gets ball 3. And a chance to load the bases for Lair. Posey in some danger here in the bottom half of inning 2. He is from Cary, North Carolina, and started in the Atlantic League with High Point last year.
That's not too far off. It's pretty close there, huh? Cary's a nice area. It's right near the triangle, or is it in the triangle?
It's
part of the
technically
triangle?
It's part of it. Called Second Strike 3 and 2.
What is
You
that?
think of the triangle, Raleigh, Durham, and Chapel Hill.
Oh, okay. And Winston-Salem is like
Winston-Salem, Greensboro, High Point is the Piedmont Triad.
Oh, okay. Boy.
It's 2 groups of 3 cities, and Cary is more in the Research Triangle.
Okay.
3-2. This is a big pitch in many ways. The runners could start in theory.
Yeah, I'd be nervous with that, though, because he didn't have a good lead off there.
3-2, and good thing they didn't.
Yeah.
Swing and a miss. Hoover is gone.
He didn't seem to agree with the one before that. He kind of looked like he was starting to get ready to walk down the first base on the 3-1. You can kind of see right here, he's kind of looking back talking about, it's probably, yeah, I don't think he liked that 3-1, but that pitch, he's using the 6-7 frame there to get on top of that baseball. There was some downhill movement on that one there.
So it's up to Lair, who hit a home run last night, found the backyard out in right center. Two on with two out. The Barnstormers 11 for 26 with runners in scoring position here on Friday night. Last night,
wait, what?
11 for 26
They
with
had
runners
26 chances?
They had 15.
Did you score 30?
They had 18. They had 15 at bats in that game with a runner at third and fewer than two outs.
Oh my gosh.
I've never seen anything quite like that.
Wow.
To Lair 1-0. Slips onto the outside corner for a called strike, and now we're at 1-1. Posey's surrendered a couple of singles this inning. Here comes the 1-1 delivery, and ball two taken below the knees. So Posey has not been at all smooth here in the second, but a foul pop up by Shaver and the strikeout of Hoover have gotten him a couple of outs around the singles. He has trailed in some counts. Lair bats 2-1. Posey will miss outside 3-1. Dunston waits on deck. Lancaster certainly has had an opportunity in this second inning. We'll see if Lair or maybe Dunston can, or not Dunston, but Torrance can capitalize. Torrance is the on-deck hitter. It is ball four, and Torrance will bat with the bases loaded. I'm used to Lair batting in the number 9 slot. He's 8 today. Torrance will step in. Well, Devon's batted twice since coming back, and he has a double off the wall in right and a base on balls. Right now, you'll take either.
It looked, you didn't know if that was a ball or a strike halfway down. So this is a little bit of the difference here. Last inning, obviously the 3 walks, but the 3 walks with less than 2 outs gives you the ability to have that fly out driver run in. Now, you know, you fly a ball out here, you're out of the inning. So just being able to work around some of those things as a pitcher, you never want to have bases loaded. It's not a fun feeling. But just to be able to kind of...
With 2 outs, you can focus on the hit. You don't have to worry about the base runners.
Oh, yeah. You don't have to worry about a pop-up. Oh, man, if this pop-up's a little too deep, I give up a run. That's the thing. With all the walks, nobody had to earn that. You know, you put them on there, and they kind of stayed there. And they went through last inning, you said, without the benefit of a base hit. So those are always the ones when you look back after the game and you see that inning are the ones you get most frustrated about, because you knew you just got to make them earn it.
1 ball, 1 strike to Torrance with the bases loaded and 2 down. Here's the pitch, fouled to the net. A pretty good looking swing for Devon. Coming back from Ohio after the recent death of his father. He was away from the ball club for about 3.5 weeks. One ball, 2 strikes, bases loaded, 2 outs. And even for these guys, family first.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Ball 2 on a fastball, just low and away.
My mother should be here, by the way. We were talking about that earlier. She invited you over to dinner tonight.
I'm going home.
Well,
We'll have to line.
She always does. Yeah,
We'll have to line this up one of these days.
Last time we did that too. You have an off day tomorrow, right?
We have an off day tomorrow.
Yeah.
We're off virtually every Monday except for the holidays.
All right, Mother. I'm sorry.
Here's a 2-2 pitch. Last year it was for ice cream.
I believe it was.
It was for
Yeah.
Turkey Hill Black Raspberry Ice Cream.
Yeah.
My legendary love for it. But
Yep. Where is she? She's in here somewhere. Sometimes I think she likes to sit and then she likes to listen to the game. I don't know why. She heard me all growing up and she still wants to listen to it. Mom, if you're listening, you know where I'm at. Come find me. I'd like to say hello.
2-2. Bases loaded here in the bottom of the second. Can the Barnstormers deliver? Torrance awaiting the pitch from Posey, and he will foul it off.
These are the at bats when, especially with bases loaded. So we talked about this, those grind out at bats. These are the ones that I always was less of a fan of than any other at bat because I'm sitting there making my pitches, and then you make one and it's off the plate a little bit. Now you're sitting there like, I've done everything I can do, and it's 3-2. Now if I miss by 2-3 inches, I just walk this guy, and it's an awful feeling. Sometimes you just have to try to forget about it, and it's hard to do because you come to your set position, you look over, and there's a guy on third, and you're like, uh-oh. If I don't make this pitch, he just walks home.
Torrance back in, 2-2, drives it down the left field line. That is going to slice foul.
He hit that better
away
than I
from
thought.
Phillies, PA.
I thought that was just going to be kind of flipped and flared in there. He hit that down, I mean, that was 30 feet short of the fence. I do love that little replay you got right there. I just love what he did there. It wasn't the pitch that he necessarily wanted to drive, but he kept his hands back. It was in the zone. He knew if I take this, it's a strike. So I'm just gonna flare it and hit it that way. And he got good wood on it, but he just kept his bat through the zone and got it in late and just kind of fouled that away because that was not the one necessarily that he wanted to hit.
It's how you stretch out at bats, stretch out innings. 2-2 pitch, strike three call. Torrance goes down looking. Posey squirms out of the inning.
Yeah.
2 hits and 3 left. And at the end of 2, 1-0 Wild Health. It is Princess Day at Clipper Magazine Stadium. We've had them all here. Okay, not them all. We don't have Princess Anne or Princess Margaret or anybody over from the British royal family, but we do have a lot of people dressed as Disney princesses today.
I'm not great with it. How many can you name? How many Disney princesses could you name?
Not many.
Is Ariel a princess? What's the definition of like the? I think so too. What about the Frozen ones? Elsa and Anna. Those are they're princesses,
yes,
right?
They're princesses.
So we're at 3 if you're counting Ariel. I think we're going to count Ariel. What's the one with the long hair? Rapunzel. Is what? But isn't there in the Disney movie? Wasn't she named something else? What is that movie called? Wasn't it called Brave? She had long red hair. It's a great movie.
I am not familiar with that one. To be perfectly honest,
I wonder if there's anybody in this stadium that is can you listen to us when you're doing this? But people can listen to you, right? Or is that just
you have to be on YouTube, so you have to be on the phone.
Well, let's see if there's anybody in here on YouTube watching this game because you want to hear the antics and things that we are saying. Come tell us all the Disney princesses.
Can I give like a
Swing and a miss,
We should give like
nothing in one.
a Twitter thing. Do they have a Twitter thing we can use?
I mean,
Can tell us all the Disney princesses. I don't want to look them up. I want to see.
I suppose if you want to go,
I guess I don't know, give out my information, digits here, Dave.
Lion King. Who was Simba's girlfriend? I don't know that she was technically a princess.
Oh, yeah, we're getting in our ear.
Nala.
Oh, somebody had a man. Do you guys have a? I love that we can get a little information in the ear.
O2.
You guys have a Twitter we can use where people can tell us Disney princesses? I don't know how many there are. We got 3. There's got to be more. I mean, there's 1,000 more than that.
I would think so.
Man.
Because Snow White technically was she a princess? I mean,
Yeah, right?
Female lead character, bouncer back toward the hill. Gann guns down Paredes, 1 out. You know, last year we were discussing superheroes. Today it's princesses. We have digressed.
Well, let's see. I'm trying to, like, you do the whole game thing and do all the baseball stuff. I'm just going to see if I can look out and recognize. There's a princess right there. Mo. Mo's a princess. She works here. Hey, Mo. Mo. You're on TV now. How many Disney princesses are there? No, there's more than that. She says 3, too.
Chris
She's
Davis'
wrong.
fastball is good for a strike. It is 0-1.
You got to go find out how many princesses there are for Disney. We got somebody on it now. I was going to say, what are you over here, Googling that now? All right, back to baseball. I'm
Swing and a miss.
That's the first
2
time I think
strikes on Davis.
I've seen that changeup. That was good. So you're right. He's got the stuff.
Yeah, there's
just
no
those
question
little
about it.
lapses of in the zone last inning.
Davis 1 for 1 with an accidental base hit, grounded off the second base bag. Fastball missing low. Gann works to him at a ball and 2 strikes.
She says 4. I feel like maybe there's a different classification of lead character in Disney princess.
I mean, technically, to be a princess, you can't be
You gotta
just
have
a
the
lead
lineage,
character.
I
You
guess.
have to have royal lineage.
Yeah.
Here is a 1-2, and
Get
Chris
foul.
Davis slams
That
that
does
down the
not
left
look like
field
it's getting
line.
foul.
Back it goes, and the walls will not contain
Ooh.
it. Well, that's what he was brought in to do.
Is that his first then?
That's his first,
Yep.
and it's 2-0 in favor of the Wild Health Genomes.
So you hit one maybe 90 feet, and then you hit one 390.
Down the left field line, and it would not hook for Cameron Gann.
That was a loud swing, too.
And fair by a reasonable amount.
Yeah, it looked like off the bat, it looked like it was going to start going, and then it kind of just stayed true.
He has over 220 home runs in the major leagues, so
It's 1 in this league, then.
Moises Sierra, the batter. Breaking ball for a strike, and it's 1-1.
This is where you just got to limit damage. Like, again, last inning, you had the 3 walks. You pitch around the 3 walks. You give up the 1 run. But we had bases loaded, 1 out last inning. So you work out of that. It's a pretty good job doing that. It's the same thing here. You got to be able to put that behind you. It's in the rear view. Now you got to face and focus on what you're doing here. That is a towering
Popped up over on the first base side, right near the bag. Cordero latches on. And Sierra needs to be grateful Cordero didn't drop that.
He didn't move. Those are almost the ones where if you know he's not running, you're like, just to prove a point, you're like, well, if you're not going to run, here you go, man. I can't stand watching that. And I'm sure he's a fantastic player, but those are just, if it's anywhere close, just like, what's the harm? Run.
2 outs. The batter Shaw, who has walked and scored a run.
I have a little bit more old school mentality in baseball, though.
Ingrain it into the youngsters
I'm
while
trying.
you're at it.
I'm trying, man.
Ball is low, 1-0.
Yeah,
I just want every kid in America to know how to keep a scorecard.
Yeah, well, I teach them that, too.
I wish I could achieve that.
Well, we'll open up the Dave Collins Scorecard Academy.
Call strike 1-1. My kids learned early.
I know how to do it. My mom, I bet if she's, I mean, I know she's here. She probably is doing it. She's
Well,
probably.
she'd be my chief instructor.
Oh, she's fantastic. She's great. She had them from when I was a kid. I remember the first time we went and played at Hagerstown. When I played with the Marlins, when we played at Hagerstown, she had, there's that changeup again. She had the scorecard from when we went and watched a game at Hagerstown. It's awesome.
Hagerstown's coming into this league, by the way.
Is it really?
2024, I believe, is now the target date.
In that same stadium, or is it
No,
a different
new stadium. No, the old one is torn down, from what I understand. Maybe not completely, but they've started wrecking it.
I feel like they started that process 30 years ago.
I worked there 30 years ago.
You know what it was like.
That place was interesting, to say the least.
Oh, yeah.
Here's a 2-2. Ball 3 is low. Every ballpark has its personalities, its characters,
Yeah.
but that seemed to overdo it a little bit. I loved it there, actually. I really did.
It is kind of funny. Like, those are the ones, like, I remember.
Payoff pitch.
Yeah.
And it's another walk.
I mean,
Gann giving up his 4th. And
see where
Felice
that
PA
was.
will step in.
that couldn't have been. Hey, there she is. Did she keep it? Are you listening to us? So you are on the. Yeah. All right. So there you go. You're his chief instructor for the. This is my mother's right in front of us, so you don't think I'm talking to myself here.
Trying to be an instructor.
In the scorecard keeping academy.
You're the head. You're right under him. Yeah.
She's
there.
there.
She is. Look. All right.
She's
Mom,
there.
you're on TV. This is now.
Wave.
Wave. You got to turn around and wave just anywhere. Turn around. You got to turn around. Oh, now you. Hold on. Here we go. There she is. That's my mother. She's a princess. Look at that princess right there. A queen, more like it. She'd be a queen.
I have one of my other instructors, Amy Ditzler.
There you go.
You got to get Amy
You got
in
a
there
whole
too.
crew. You
Yeah.
are all ready to go. We just need to get you the following.
One strike on Felice PA, 2 outs, runner at first base, and Lancaster, as you see, down by 2. Gann to the plate. PA backs away from a breaking ball, and it's 1-1.
Got to be able to get out of this inning without surrendering, obviously, any more runs, but really trying to limit your pitch count at this point.
We'll see if the Barnstormers can come back and win this game. As PA hits a ball well to left field, but it's Death Valley out there, and Torrance will settle underneath to make the catch. It ends the inning, 1 run, 1 left, 2.5 in the books, and it's 2-0 Wild Health. Barnstormers down by a couple as we go to the bottom half of the third inning. And I started to say this game is a test for this Barnstormers team because they've done so much well. But one thing this club has not established an ability to do is come from behind in games. They've won only 5 times all year when the other team has scored the first run. And they've won only once when they've trailed after 7 innings.
Oh, wow.
This is a team that needs to jump out ahead, but ultimately you've got to learn to do that. You're not going to go on and win a championship unless you can take a game like this and spin it around, find a way to spin it around. 11 for 26 with runners in scoring position Friday night, 1 for 8 last night, 0 for 2 here today.
Oh, boy.
So these are certainly the hills and valleys
So yeah,
of this 2022 ball club, which should have a better record than 33 and 38. The second half showing a lot of promise at 4-1.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the numbers here, and you're talking about 4.5 ERA, not bad. I mean, I don't know what they consider a quality start. I feel like that has changed lately.
Six innings, 3 runs or fewer.
All right. So there you go. You're looking at the same thing right there, 6 and 3. So they're basically getting quality games from all their starters and bullpen. And you're talking about hitting 270 as a team. Opponents are hitting 249. I don't know what the league average is, but you're talking about 270 is pretty good.
In the 260s, I would say.
Yeah. So you're right.
It's the plus 64 OPS.
Yeah.
That should be a championship team.
Yeah. The metrics that you're looking at speak to not the record that you're looking at. And again, we're talking about the 267 average. You're talking about all those types of things. And I mean, when you got a hitting coach like Jeff Bianchi, oh boy, he was. Even thinking back, I faced him in high school. He was the hardest out I've ever. I'm talking about anybody that I've ever faced. He's probably the hardest person. I had no idea what to do with him. And this is like in high school when you're talking about we were facing in the summer and all those types of things. He was just a professional hitter when he was 16.
Here's a 1-1 on Dunston. He backs out of the way, and it's ball 2 from Povsey, who hasn't been at all efficient today, but he's gotten through the Barnstormers for 2 innings. Dunston fairly deep into the count again. 2-1 is knocked foul down the left side. We go to 2-2. Mercedes and Dugan to follow. Povsey got through this segment of the order in 1-2-3 fashion back in the first inning.
When we get Mercedes up, I'd like to see the kind of the shift that they are putting on him. It's an odd defensive alignment, but I'd like to see if we can get it.
2-2 rifled down the right field line. That is going to head into the corner.
Stand up.
Dunston will sprint into second and pull up standing with a leadoff double.
So now you're kind of glad that you don't get to see the shift that they were playing because you got a guy on base. So that's obviously going to change. But what they had done to him last time, and they probably will still do this in the outfield. The left fielder, who do we got in left field? Let me see.
It's
PA. All right. He was way shaded onto the line, but he was played to kind of pull in right field, which they're doing again. The third baseman was off the line, so they're playing him to pull in the infield and right field, and now you got the center fielder who's moving back over because last time he was middle to left, and you got the left fielder, PA, who is 30 feet, 40 feet from the line.
Mercedes stands in. He's going to square around a bunt and fouls it to the third base dugout. Down a strike. It is 0-1. You're down 2 runs in the third inning with a guy who's pretty hot at the plate. I don't know about bunting there.
Yeah, it's because now, and I would recommend it if you didn't have the guy on second and if he's just trying to get on, but he's pulled up and he's pulled over now toward the line where we had talked in the first inning that he was off the line but still up. So you're talking about 3 feet off the line and you're good, but now he's up and closer.
Mercedes looks the second strike on the outside corner. He at least has to get Dunston to third.
You got to find a way. Absolutely. Now this becomes...
It's a secondary objective.
Correct.
The first objective right now is to get on base yourself.
Yeah, but you go from, at this point, an 0-0 count, your job is you're trying to get the guy over and get on, and not necessarily in that order. Now you get the 0-1 count, okay, same objective. Now your 0-2 count is, your main objective is now to get him over.
Bouncing ball pulled foul to Dugan.
You're taking that at bat, like you got to say, look, this at bat is not mine anymore. This has to become a team at bat. I've got to find a way to get him to third with less than 2 so that you can get that ground ball, so that you can get the wild pitch, the pass ball, the sac fly, all those different ways that you could score from third that you can't necessarily score from second.
Dunston off second. Mercedes continues to battle at no balls, 2 strikes.
Got to find a way to pull something here or drive something into the outfield.
There's a debate whether or not you should bunt with the runner at second base to start off the extra innings. Some people are for it, some people against. Most teams in this league do it.
I probably would.
0-2, Mercedes takes a breaking ball, grounds it foul.
Good pitch and good ability to fight that one off. I don't understand if
if we're sitting there and you're in the bottom half of that inning and you didn't score in the top half of that extra frame, I would just always walk the guy. What's it matter if you lose by 2 or 1? I would always walk that first player, the first batter. Now you got first and second. Now any ground ball, you have the ability to turn a double play. I would hope that happens more often, but maybe I don't know.
Ross has walked after the bunt. He's walked the next 2.
Yeah. I mean,
it can depend on the order as well.
Yeah, it depends who you're facing, but again, it's and you don't like to. I mean, we're in the. You could just put up the 4 fingers, right? You're not having to throw all the pitches, so that makes it a little easier. Because if you had to throw the 4 pitches, it is kind of weird because you're trying to do things differently and toss it there.
2 strikes to Mercedes. Dunston trying to distract Povsey. Ball is outside.
You saw they had shortstop there, crashed in. He wanted to pick off, and he was greatly out of position on that. If he would have been able to put that ball in play, obviously it's a ball, so you take it. But he jumped in and tried to back pick at second. This is a long at bat that was 0-2. I mean, if you can work this back to 1-2 like he did, 2-2, there you go.
2-2.
Let's take a look. Here we see, watch. So he crashes. Watch the shortstop. Boom, he wants it. And he would have, I mean, you probably would have had it, too.
Oh, he would have had him. There's
if you have that timing there, that's an out. But it's always hard. These are the things when you play 140-some games a year, you don't necessarily have a lot of time to work on that communication because you're just playing. You don't practice all the time.
Mercedes batting 2-2 and fouls it off. He and Dunston will wear pitchers down.
Yeah, so you got to think. I mean, I don't know how many pitches he's at right now, but
well, he's thrown 12 this inning, and for the game, 57.
So 12 this inning, and you got these 2, and you got to think the first inning was they faced because the first out was they're 14 and 26.
30, 12, yeah.
So it's 26 pitches between these 2 guys. Out of the how many again?
57.
26 out of 57. But for the top 2 guys in the lineup, which is great. That's awesome. Now you just got to translate that into a run.
Here's a 2-2 offering. Ground ball right side.
Job.
He got him to third.
That's a fantastic job.
4-3, the out on Mercedes, but Dunston advances, and Dugan will try to pick him up.
That's a great at-bat to be able to see more pitches, fouling the ones off, taking the ones that are close, and then being able to then not just put the ball in play, but put the ball in play in the right spot. Pull the ball, give your guy a chance to get over to third. Now you got to capitalize. I also think that this is one of my little changes here. He should get a half an RBI if he gets in. It's like the thing in hockey, you get the assist.
The assist.
Yeah. He got him over there. Half an RBI.
First strike into Dugan. Kelly grounded out to Paredes his first time up as well. That would get a run home.
How do you, again, if I'm hitting and I get a half an RBI for bunting a guy over, and that makes the difference of me getting another 15 RBIs a year, ooh. Or I take out and I do the team at bat there and I get that guy over, and now I got 20 more RBIs in the year because I got that guy over 40 times somehow.
Well, it's a category of advancing leadoff runners.
Yeah.
I used to track that one. It got cumbersome, but it is a viable category, advancing leadoff runners. Productive outs. 1-1. Dugan looks at a second strike. Fastball gets the outside corner at the knees, and Povsey again. The Barnstormers have had base runners against it. I mentioned 11 innings coming into today, no earned runs. There were 17 base runners against them.
Boy.
Well, today the Barnstormers have had 4 runners on in 2 1/3 innings. They still don't have anybody home.
Yeah.
Dugan bats 1-2, breaking ball,
That'll
and
get
that
somebody
is
home.
slammed to right center field. That is going to come off the vinyl. Dunston will score. Dugan heading for second, the slide, and he is out at second base. So it will be a long RBI single for Kelly, and I'm not sure that he is at 100% speed right now. A line single off the base of the vinyl out in right center field, and then well defended after that.
Oh, man.
Playing the carom was Teodoro Martinez, and he'll get the out at second.
It's just because it didn't hit the part of this the wall that you think would carry him back like that. It hit the bottom part, but it must have hit something perfectly and went right to him. If it goes 6 inches any other way, he's going second base. But
Break-
it must have hit something and just went.
Breaking ball is low to Cordero. It's 1-0. Bases are cleaned off, but Dugan has made it 2-1. Cordero had a single to center leading off the second inning. Bouncing ball pulled foul. It's great to see that at bat out of Dugan, though, because his power just hasn't been there for the last week.
Yeah, let's take a look. So I don't think it hits this capital sign. And look, it's, again, you get 6
Yeah.
inches lower and that just checks up. And he's standing on second. Not even a throw.
Bounced right back to Martinez. To Cordero, chopper to third, and handled by Sierra.
He didn't know he handled it.
Yeah, he'll get the out. Look what I found. But the Barnstormers pick up a run. They get 2 hits in the inning. Nobody left on base. And through 3, it's 2-1 in favor of Wild Health. Briefly, I am headed home. 2-1. Last night we were in the 6th inning by this time. Today's game far more slowly paced than we had a night ago. We'll take the casual Sunday game and the quick Saturday night game, considering the turnaround. Last night, 2 hours, 25 minutes for 9 innings.
Hey, look at that. That's nice. Yeah, it's a nice day, too. It's not like we're sitting at 93 degrees, so it's a nice... It's 81, but, you know. I remember a couple games here last year. We'd be sitting in here, and we're sitting with beads of sweat rolling on. You couldn't give us enough ice cream.
There's Teodoro Martinez coming to the plate. I love it's like the duck walk, kicking the bat the entire way.
Yeah.
I've watched it since he was a Somerset Patriot and a Southern Maryland Blue Crab. He's now with the Genomes, played for West Virginia and Mark Minikazi last year. This is basically last year's West Virginia team moved to Lexington. And in many ways, Billy Horn had to start all over again in Charleston, building a ball club. He had the 2 coaches back from the West Virginia team last year, Scott Kelly and Joe Testa.
Oh, I know Joe. I played with Joe. He was, we played together down in Ponce in Puerto Rico.
Ball 1, strike 1, and Scott Kelly, an Atlantic League
He was the little
institution,
short,
the little infielder from
Yeah.
Somerset out of the College
Does
of
he
New
still
Jersey.
play too?
He does play.
Oh, good for
He's
him.
playing everywhere for them, infield, outfield, wherever
Get
they
up,
need.
get
Line
up.
drive, Mercedes can't get there. And Martinez aboard with the leadoff single here in the 4th inning.
Yeah, he was always a scrappy little. He always reminded me of David Eckstein.
Yeah.
Just a guy that would he just wanted to play baseball, and a guy that we played with, Tyler Bortnick, same kind of thing. Like he was just he just loved to be out there, and you could just. It was kind of infectious too, even when you played against him. You kind of wanted to play against him because he was just fun to play against, even if he'd go 2 for 3 against you and steal 4 bases.
Well, as I recall, Bordy was your college teammate
yes,
too.
he was.
He not?
He was a Chanticleer.
Bordy, he owns a junk hauling business
No,
back
he
home.
does
Yeah,
not. Really?
in the Cleveland area.
Oh, that's funny. I did not know that.
Martinez
You are
starts, doesn't go. Swing and a miss by Velo.
full of facts there, Dave. Junk hauling.
I hear from him every now and then. The last time I saw Bordy, it's a night I'm reminded of very often. he, Josh Bell, Trayvon Robinson, and I ended up all bowling
I was
together.
going to say it had to do something with bowling. He is a fantastic bowler.
And we have a night next Sunday, Barnstormers private party at Decades down the street.
I've never been. I've heard it's great. Have you?
I have not been in there either.
First
I
time.
wasn't even actually until this came up. I wasn't aware it was there because I don't
Yeah.
walk back and forth to the ballpark.
Okay.
And from the Holiday Inn this year, I haven't walked at all.
Okay.
And
I haven't
it was,
been.
it's
Yeah,
on
I've
the
heard it's
it's
awesome.
on the walking way, but it's not on the driving way
Oh,
because you
okay,
drive to
yeah.
the Holiday
There's
Inn,
certain,
you go
yeah.
around Prince, and you
Yep.
come back out of the parking garage, and you end up coming up Lime. So I'm never on Queen Street.
There you go.
But this came up, and I became aware of it, and I can't wait to go.
I bet. Yeah. I gotta go too. It's everybody raves about it if they've been. I don't know where that pitch missed. I'm not. Can we see that pitch again, please? Is there something
It's
we
two
can
and
get?
one now on Velo.
Yeah. They're how. Not often I'm speechless, Dave. Ball looked, and it seemed he was as well.
I think Gann was too.
I think most people within that scenario were, especially the umpire,
And at some point,
and that's the one you need
I
to say
think
something.
Derek Moshe might hear about it.
Yeah, if he gets on here for sure.
2-1, swing and a miss. 2 balls and 2 strikes, especially after that pitch.
Yeah. Are you a two-handed bowler? Do you?
No, just
you-
one.
yeah?
Just one. I haven't made the adjustment.
I mean, some guys do it. I don't know. I just can't do that. I can wee bowl. I'm pretty good at wee bowling, but I'm not fantastic at real bowling.
Swing and a miss. Gann with some extra steam there. Got him.
Good.
Velo strikes out. That is the 3rd for Cameron. First since the opening inning. Since the first 2 batters.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's been a little bit of a ways away.
Gavin Johns will come to the plate. Sac fly back in the 2nd inning to give the Genomes a 1-0 lead.
How many different jersey styles do we have for the Sunday games like this? I know they're drawn and done things by the. Is it still?
It used to be
does
about
those?
3.
Yeah, I've seen 3 so far
Children's
at least.
Hospital.
Okay, I know that.
Well,
What
you
is
can
it,
see
Lore?
that.
Do you pronounce it
Yeah,
Lore?
Gans is different from Corderos.
Yeah, and then Lore at third base has one with somebody on it, a picture of. Are you going to give me the pronunciation? Okay, let's see. Well, I can't read that. What does that say? That looks like
it says
Laver.
Lair.
Oh, Lair.
Lair.
All right. Oh, like a
Yeah, the O is silent.
Okay. All right, Lair. Got it.
Yeah, Lair.
Boy, I thought I was like Laver. That's not right. All right, Lair. Got it. Lair. Whenever I hear the word Lair, I just think of like a Bond villain. They always have lairs, right?
Or Batman villains.
Yeah.
They do
Yeah.
too. It's 1-2 on Johns. Top of the order, Luke Becker waiting on deck.
They're always underground. Almost always underground. Or they're at like the top of some massive mountain.
Like the Wolf's Lair
Yeah.
for Hitler.
Yeah.
The ultimate villain.
Ugh.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, Lair doesn't give you any like positive connotations there. Except for our third baseman, you know? I'm sorry, buddy. He's sitting there like, guys, it's just my name. I'm sorry.
Well, it's the,
But I do love the jersey that he has on. Whoever designed that one, that's a great. They all look awesome. But I like the little caricature that he's got on the right hand side of his jersey. It's cute. They always did a great job with these. I think that's an awesome idea too. Because how special do you feel when you show up and you realize that like your design was chosen for the uniform that like a professional baseball player is gonna wear? That's pretty neat. There it is.
There it
Look at
is.
that. Look how cute that little guy is. Not Lair, the guy on his jersey. Nice job, kid.
Here's a 2-2. Fastball puts Johns away. 4th strikeout for Cameron Gann. He's gotten on a little bit of a roll again.
Yeah, there's your streak. The two to the start of the game, then that whole little lull in the beginning or in the middle there, and then he's got 2 here. Now you just want to let's see, end it with 3, get 5 total, and get out of this inning.
This staff is almost close to 1 an inning for the season.
Ooh.
It's a staff that can just that strike out 12, 15 a game, seemingly at will. And for the year, The Barnstormers 601 strikeouts in 612 and a third innings coming in.
And you're talking about, you had said that Schumann and, I'm sorry, the other one is
Graham.
escaping me. They're working their way back, so you're talking about.
Schumann missed 7 weeks. Graham missed about 3.
And you got to think, like, think of the firepower you're missing with those guys. They're strikeout machines.
Ball 2 on Becker, who's hitless in 2 tries today.
Penn State Health Children's Hospital. There it is. Great idea. I love it. That's an awesome way for the. Oh, look, there's got to be another one it's. Shaver's got one. You look at the back. He's got roses or something in there. Mom, you need your phone charged? Is that what you need? What do
2
you want
balls and a strike. Feel like this is
right?
like Dave Letterman's mom right now. But she baked pies.
Hold on, I gotta find out what she needs. I think
2-1.
she needs it charged.
Becker with a high pop fly out toward left field. This is Torrance and Torrance alone to make the catch. A leadoff base hit for Teodoro Martinez. Nothing after that. 1 hit, 1 left, and we'll go to the bottom of the 4th, 2-1 in favor of Wild Health. What are they all texting or Googling?
Oh, I don't know, but man, I keep bringing up my mom, but we were driving the other day and she was on her phone. And I said, Mom, you are such a millennial.
I've become an addict scrolling through my phone as well.
Yeah.
It's all I can do during games not to do it, but you get me after the game, I'll be, well, what's the latest? Go to the bottom half of the 4th inning, 2-1. You'll have to forgive us, Pete and I. We haven't seen each other since last year,
Yeah,
so
we do.
we're catching up as we're going
Yeah,
along
we got
through this
people
game.
stopping by, and they know, they see you all the time. They don't see me too much.
That's because you've been too busy with first graders and high school baseball players.
Yeah, I just started 2 businesses, Dave.
2?
Yeah, I know, right? 1 wasn't enough. Why not just do 2?
What are you doing?
The first one is kind of a natural for me. It's a little baseball and softball academy down in Lidditz, Pennsylvania, right down the street. So I get to walk to it, which is awesome. And then the other one is a yoga studio. How about that, right? Yeah, because you know me, I'm such a yogi. But there was nothing in Lidditz, so we figured my business partner and I said, let's do a yoga studio. So we're close to opening up. And my sister-in-law did all the designs for everything. It's great. It's a whole family affair. I just got to learn how to do yoga. I'm not instructing. Don't worry. I am not instructing. We got qualified people for that.
Ball 1 to Shaver. Colton fouled to his counterpart Velo right against the net back in the 2nd inning.
You know what else I do? You'll find this kind of amusing. He doesn't like that call either.
Ooh.
Yeah, he is.
He and Gann can get together and have a gripe session.
Oh boy. I coach high school girls volleyball.
Oh, nice.
Head JV coach.
2-0 pitch, and Gann skies this toward left center field. Got under it too much.
God.
That ball carries away.
Golly.
It's Martinez with the catch, and there's 1 out.
I mean, you take 30 feet out of the air of that, and he's hitting that pole out there.
Shaver flies not quite to the warning track out in left center field. Fat part of this ballpark. It brings on Robinson, who singled his first trip. Povsey with the 1-run lead. Lancaster's out hit Wild Health today. First pitch, strike to the outside corner. The Barnstormers have out hit their opponents a lot in losses this year, especially when it comes to York and Southern Maryland. Grounded foul for a second strike. It's 0-2. Povsey and Gann both have a history of throwing a lot of pitches, and they have followed that history today. Gann's thrown 82 through 4 innings. Povsey is sitting at 69 at the moment.
Wow. Yeah, that's
2 strikes to Robinson, and he goes down swinging. That is the second strikeout only for, make that the third for Povsey.
so. Sometimes you run into that with guys who have really good stuff. They have the stuff, they just can't command the stuff sometimes. And even if you're not, and it's not, we're not sitting here saying that Gann can't command it. He doesn't have a lot of walks. Posey does, but not a bunch. But we're talking about 1 every other inning, which is a little too many. But sometimes you just can't command it.
And Hoover sends one in Martinez's direction also. Povsey will live like that all day if he can. 1, 2, 3 go the Barnstormers on just 7 pitches in the bottom half of the 4th inning. So that will get Gann right back out there. We're at the end of 4, 2-1 Genomes. Fifth inning of baseball today at Clipper Magazine Stadium. It is a lovely Sunday afternoon, and fans have turned out. A lot of them tend to huddle up in the shade, so the back rows get filled during our Sunday afternoon games. We've done pretty well on Sundays this year.
Yeah, the parking lot was full. I came in and had to park way back there. Got some steps in, though.
We remember the days here where the ballpark was pretty empty Sunday through Thursday and full Friday and Saturday.
Packed.
It's leveled out now. We're
okay.
drawing about the same on Tuesdays as we are on Fridays.
Really? You don't see that often.
Silver Stormers has gone extremely well. Folks 55 and over. Pete's not in that category. I am. I can relate. And I'll tell you what, if at whatever time that I decide to hang up the microphone, and the chances are Mrs. Voice is going to tell me no more. I've had it. But we're actually considering moving up here, by the way.
Are you really?
Another thought. She may retire before I do.
Okay.
And we're talking about the possibility of moving here.
Okay.
For me, relocating here full time, and for her moving up this way. So much more to do here than where we live down at home.
Well, we did it to Ross, didn't we? We pulled him up here.
Did it to Ross?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Wait, it is kind of funny. It has a way of drawing you back, this area. So even some of the guys who played here and then you go play other places, like it seems like they gravitate towards wanting to come back here. It's a beautiful ballpark. It is a great area. There's a lot of stuff to do. You're minutes away from hopping on any road to get to New York, Philly, Baltimore, Washington. it's not far off from all those types of things. You want to get down to the beach, you're 3 hours away from hopping down to the beach at the most for some of them. So
Jimmy Paredes batting at a ball and a strike starting off the 5th inning. Gans handled him pretty well. A strikeout and a dribbler back to the first base side of the hill. Breaking ball missing, and that makes it 2-1.
well, we'd love to have you if I'm going to be the spokesperson for the area. We'd love to have you here.
We've always liked this area as a family, even when I was in the Eastern League passing through here or going to Harrisburg, Reading. We always had a lot of fun in this area.
Yeah.
It sounded loud, but it was foul.
Yeah.
2-2. You can always recognize Paredes by, I guess, somewhat of a unique hairstyle. It's almost like, what would you call those, pigtails?
I don't know. I've never been able to. I
It's
had
not,
long hair.
It's
but
not full dreads. 2-2, ground ball pulled foul. Well, you think you had long hair. You have not seen West Tunnel yet.
Oh boy. Okay.
Now he bobs his up in a man bun when he pitches, but when
Really?
he's not on the hill, you deal with West on the side. His hair flows all the way down his back.
Oh my gosh. Look at that. I don't know if I can deal with that.
Here's
that's a
the
little
2-2. It's ball 3.
You got to think if the trend continues and you're talking about 20 and a half pitches an inning for Gan here, you can't let him go much longer than this. And I'd imagine at this point you're probably going to start getting somebody up soon.
Foul back. Well, 5 innings is the magic number
Yeah.
with the double hook rule. You get to keep your
okay.
DH if the
All
starter
right.
goes 5.
Okay.
So we'll see Gan pushed here, but Barnstormers have some folks stretching in the bullpen.
Yeah, I guess so. This becomes a.
Here's a payoff, and the breaking ball misses.
Now that's a tough one. I mean, it's. I think it's a ball. I don't know if we go back and look at it. I'm not sure. I'm not going to play. Yeah, a little high and in, a little tight, but.
I think it's more earlier pitches that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Gan.
One of the first ones, it was blowing out, and I mean, it was very close. But when you're talking about you're in the 5th inning and you have that rule that if you make it through, you get to keep the DH. That's a big deal. So
It
that's
is.
a
It's
very big
huge.
deal. Throwing a 3-2 breaking ball, you got to have a lot of confidence in it.
It's a big deal when you don't have a bench because the Barnstormers are really limited. They got Felice, and I don't know if Peroni's available or not. I haven't heard he's not. He's certainly taking his cuts in the cage and so on and so forth, but we haven't seen him play since he got hit by a foul tip the other night. 1-0, and to Davis. There's a breaking ball for a strike.
Yeah. I mean, he's trying to command it. So if he feels better about that pitch now, then. And again, you're talking about a guy who just took you, 350 down the left field line the at bat before. You kind of, if you can stay away from him with breaking balls, it is kind of an odd thing to stay away from a right-hander here, because, challenged him.
Fastball got up and in, rode on the hands.
So those breaking balls set that pitch up, and when you have 94 and you can get 94 in the hands, if you can command it.
Davis, good college player at Cal State Fullerton. One ball and 2 strikes. And that fastball is hit the other way. Back on it goes Dugan, looking up, and well, Chris Davis has arrived. His 2nd homer of the day, and now it's 4-1 Wild Health.
And that's the trouble with staying away. Like, I know he just took you. I know he took it to left field, but you'd almost rather make your mistakes middle in, and hope you can keep it in the park. So, and I mean, it's not to say he didn't hit that ball well. He did. He hit it well, but
He goes to the opposite field here,
yeah, I mean, it didn't get out by much.
up onto the deck. But now it's 4-1, and the banner is Moises Sierra, the 3rd baseman. He's 0 for 2. Breaking ball dealt for a strike. It is 0-1. The Genomes, a team that should be temporary in the Atlantic League 1 year or 2, able to attract an incredible number of former major leaguers. Grounded to 3rd. From behind the bag is Lair. He will fire on to get Sierra. 1 out here in the 5th inning. Chris Shaw will step in.
curious why would they are they a temporary team? Or
Well, there are two teams in Lexington.
Do they share the same park? Or
they
is
share
it,
the same facility.
All right.
They play each other, I've heard 41 times. I haven't counted myself.
Oh, wow.
Well, they play each other quite a bit.
So there's almost always a home team.
They have 123 dates of Atlantic League baseball. That facility also hosted the Ohio Valley Conference tournament this year.
Okay.
And with that, they moved both teams out for a week. They had the week off and then came back and played a series of doubleheaders.
Oh my gosh.
Ball is high to Shaw, 1-0.
I mean, or is it turf?
It is turf.
Oh, I was going to say that.
Yeah,
that's,
they just
good
put
for
turf,
their grounds crew.
They
then.
put turf in there this year. Ground ball to second base. Mercedes with the quick throw. 2 outs in the inning. And Felice Piet, the left fielder, will come to the plate. But the surprise is...
Curious as to their attendance then. Are they... Where would I find this? You know exactly where to look. I'm looking at all the...
Front page.
Front page of what? You got...
They're averaging 2096. The Legends, the original team, averaging just shy of 2,700. They've done well. It's certainly a challenge to market
I was going to say, yeah.
a team that's sharing the ballpark on an interim basis. Breaking ball for a strike, 0-1 on PA. The idea was to allow Hagerstown to get ready. Staten Island became the 9th team this year.
Okay.
1-1. That is a franchise this league needs to have work. It's such a great facility. Right on the northeastern tip of Staten Island, looking out over the Manhattan skyline.
So Long Island's still there too. Is that's connected by that ferry, huh? Long Island and Staten Island, or is that what's the ferry?
Staten
Where's that
Island.
one
Well,
go?
Staten Island, the ferry goes to Manhattan.
Oh, okay, all right.
In a sense, you're looking at Long Island as well, because you've got straight ahead. You have Manhattan, the Statue of Liberty, and off to the right is Brooklyn, which is part of Long Island, and then to over left field is Bayonne, New Jersey. And the port of Bayonne. It's geographically fascinating.
Yeah.
3 and 2.
Here you are without a map, knowing all that stuff, and I'm looking out in center field like, where's he pointing? I would imagine that's I got to look at that stadium. You said
Pay off
it's
the PA. Ground ball pulled
Stay
toward the
down.
hole.
Oh,
There
good
is
play.
Mercedes. He'll throw from the hole and end the 5th inning. So the Barnstormers do get to keep the DH. But now they need to make up a 3-run deficit, as it's been all Chris Davis here today. He's hit 2 out and has the Genomes leading 4-1. Well, Cameron Gann finds himself in some pretty good company. Here are some other people that have given up 2 or more home runs over time to Chris Davis. Justin Verlander.
Okay.
He is allowed
He's
4.
decent.
Francisco Liriano, John Lackey, Homer Bailey, Cole Hamels. David Price has given up a couple.
I'm looking over your shoulder. That's a long list,
Zach
man.
Greinke, Julio Teheran, Steven Strasburg.
Hey, Tom
R.A.
Kohler.
Dickey.
That was my roommate. Tom Kohler, right?
Yeah.
Look, he was my first roommate. Oh, sorry, Tom.
I'm sure Tom is not watching. He is down in Florida.
Bartolo Colon, Charlie Morton,
All these people
Jake,
have been up
Jake
too.
Odorizzi, Tim Lincecum.
Yeah.
They've all given up 2 or more home runs to Chris Davis. So
Well, elite company.
he finds himself in pretty good company.
Yeah, not where he wants to be, but
Not necessarily, it's not necessarily the room you want to be sharing with
yeah.
baseball royalty.
But if that's the way you get in the room, I guess you'll take it.
Trace Lair leads off here in the bottom of the 5th. Lancaster down by 3. And Trace will take a pitch low from Max Povsey. Trace already with a walk today.
So I just Googled this park, this University Hospital Community Park. It is. What a backdrop.
Yeah, it's
That is
unbelievable.
awesome. Was that where the
It's where the Staten Island Yankees played.
Okay, yeah.
Ball 2 is low, 2-0.
And then I
I
guess
as well. I've got photos
I got to see those.
on my phone.
So you're talking about
as
in that
well.
area, then you said there was, because I know the Brooklyn Cyclones had a backdrop kind of like that too. So they were.
They're at Coney Island. Yeah, 2-0.
Okay.
Strike taken by
I just
Lair.
think it's look at that.
It is 2-1.
Boy,
I can give you an idea if I can
I'd be a
the-
terrible hitter. I'd be staring at the out at center field.
get there of my view. Here comes the 2-1. It is outside. Lair with a shot to reach base, starting off this inning.
Yeah, this would be big.
3
You gotta
balls
find a way.
and 1 strike. Let me get an idea of my view
Oh, look at that.
from the upper level of the stadium.
Yeah.
3-1, the count to Lair. Povsey will fire, and ball 4 is low. Well, the Barnstormers have a start here in the bottom of the 5th. Povsey has given up his 2nd walk. Lair has both of them. He's allowed 4 hits on the day. Devon Torrance will be the batter. The Barnstormers down by 3. They need to build an inning.
This is beautiful. That's an awesome stadium.
It's spectacular.
What do you think about the logo in center field? Do you think it? I mean, it doesn't bother me because I don't play. But
It's perfectly fine.
yeah, you don't. You think guys notice it? I guess not.
Check swing
Oh,
by
get-
Torrance. It's going to be a tough play. The only way they make it is because Sierra was guarding against the bunt. Runner moves ahead to second on the swinging bunt. Lair now in scoring position with 1 out.
Oh, there you go. Sorry, I'm staring at stadiums and blocking your view. That's a close play, but again, I mean, it's a productive out, but not the out that you want because
Not down by
It's-
3.
no,
if
especially-
if
yeah.
it's still 2-1,
yeah,
you appreciate that out. 4-1,
Yeah, I mean-
you're trying to build an inning here.
yeah, you're gonna have to try to get. I mean, and it's okay. You get 1 run here, you're fine. You're still within 2, but you're also talking about a team like you said that is not a come from behind team. So you're at the spot where you kind of do need to put 1 or at least 2 together. You'd think, because if you don't do it now, when are you going to do it? You know.
Dunston looks at a breaking ball high, 1-0. So now Povsey, who's started to cut down on the number of pitches thrown, runs into Dunston and Mercedes,
Yeah.
who are responsible for
Over.
well over a third of what
Yeah.
he has thrown in this game.
Yeah.
1-0 pitch. Sean looks at ball 2 away.
These are just hard guys to pitch to, just because you know that they know the zone so well. So you can't really expand the zone, and when you can't expand the zone, you're afraid to kind of go in the zone sometimes because they attack the zone so well.
Lair leads off second. Dunston with a swing and a miss.
He knew it. That's the one he wanted. So if you look around the league, I'm looking at some of these teams. There's some beautiful ballparks in here. I always thought Southern Maryland was fun too, just because it's different. You got the whole. I mean, they got the opposite. It's a poke to right and then the high wall and left. York is fun. I think York's a nice little stadium. I always like stadiums built into the city, kind of too.
Yeah.
I have not seen Gastonia. High Point, I can imagine, is pretty is gorgeous.
Gastonia and High Point are fairly similar
Yeah?
in
Okay.
ways. Not very deep stadiums. They're only about 6 to 8 rows of seats, but go all the way around.
Oh, okay. And
Turf,
then I did see
both
the picture
cases
of,
turf.
I saw the picture of
3-1.
Get out.
Dunston gets underneath, skies it out to right toward the line, and getting over on it is Shaw. He'll make the catch. Digging for third and beating the throw is Lair. Now 2 outs in the inning, and it's up to Mercedes to get the run over.
I mean, again, if you look at like exactly what you're doing, yeah, those are both productive outs because they moved the runs, but not in the sense of, you know, are they going to do the job? Because now you still have to get a base hit. So, did both of those outs advance runners? Yes. But you got a guy on third with 2 outs now. Now you have to get a base hit. However, it does, at the very least, it does open up those opportunities of scoring from third without the benefit of a base hit.
Wild pitch or an error or something.
Error, yeah. So,
Mercedes the batter, and he tears into
hopefully.
one, driving
Yeah,
it deep
that'll do it.
right field. Way back it goes, and it's 4-3.
There you go. So you got the base hit, and you got the run, and you got another one.
Mercedes with the blast to right. That is his 5th homer of the season. And the Barnstormers pull it in 1. Melvin Mercedes, a guy who up until this year had never really hit for much power, matching a blow from Chris Davis in the top of the inning.
Yeah, what did he get, a breaking ball? Breaking ball? I think it was a breaking ball. Let's see. That may be. Yeah, he just sat
And he trashed
he knew it. He knew it.
Here's Dugan, who has an RBI single and a ground out to second. Lancaster back within 1. And to Kelly, check swing. He went too far, says the third base umpire Caldwell.
It's got to be such a cool feeling to hit a home run and know you hit a home run. Like, I've never had that feeling. Just when you swing the ball, just like you can just trot. It's a little different, like when you throw a ball and he's
Dugan
just
skies
lifting
this
it.
the other way. This is PA coming on. He'll make the catch. The Barnstormers, again, catch up, but don't tie. 2 runs, 1 hit with no errors, nobody left. At the end of 5, it is Wild Health 4 and Lancaster 3. Mercedes again, the Barnstormers get within 1. Plenty of baseball left here today. Casual Sunday afternoon at Clipper Magazine Stadium. The Barnstormers with the Melvin Mercedes home run, and now Chase Johnson takes over. And this is interesting because we talk about earlier we were talking about the 2015 club that Pete was on, the last Barnstormers team to win a half season. And Butch Hobson had you guys fairly well slotted. You knew you were pitching the 8th inning.
Yeah.
Ross can't get there. And again, it goes back to the injuries to Schumann and Graham. Here's Chase Johnson pitching the 6th inning, but he closed against York back on Wednesday.
Oh, wow.
Or
you normally don't
Thursday.
see. Yeah, I mean, but you're right. You normally don't see a guy who's closing less than a week ago come in the 6th, which tells you exactly what you were talking about earlier. If you got a team who doesn't really come from behind, now you're within 1. Now it's like, well, we know, like, you got to shut the door. Like, we need a quick inning. We need to get back and try to ride that momentum. So it kind of puts you in that situation for Ross where he just says, I need a shutdown inning. I need a guy who's going to stop something so that we can get back out there.
Well, if you look up and down the numbers out of this Barnstormers bullpen, they're all quite good. Johnson, to me, has just pitched in tough luck. He's 1-6 with 1 save and a 4.2 ERA.
And a heck of a mustache.
And yeah, it used to be a full beard.
Yeah.
I was kidding. It seemed to have gone through the entire pitching staff this week. Shorter haircuts, facial hair gone.
Oh.
Johnson sporting an entirely different look. We have a team barber again.
Oh, okay.
Oscar,
All right.
Oscar De La Cruz, one of the starting pitchers.
Okay.
Here's Teodoro Martinez, 1 out of 2 against Gann. First pitch, ground
Stay
ball.
down. There you
There is Lair with the play and the throw. 1 out.
I mean, I'm looking up there. I just saw 97 pop up there.
Yeah. It's
I-
one of the stable.
Yeah, wow.
They all throw like that.
Man, I would not fit in here anymore.
Kid Josh Graham's the soft tosser. He throws about 93, but he has some of the best secondary pitches you'll see.
I was watching his warm-ups. I saw an 88-mile-an-hour something, and it moved. It looked uncatchable.
1 out, top 6. Johnson kicks, fires, and it's across for a strike on Chase Velo. It is 0-1. We'll get the official radar readings momentarily. It's always a couple pitches behind, but the first one to Martinez was 97.
There's that slider.
Slider
that he throws.
into the dirt.
If he can throw that even starting in the zone, because that's one of those pitches, if you throw it out of the zone early, it's not going to be swung at. But if you throw that, like, kneecap, it has a it looks like a low fastball, boy, I don't know how you lay off that one. It's just you got to be able to command that.
Here's a 1-1. There's a second strike.
So
Yeah.
that one is just, he looks like he took a little bit off of it, which is, it's an 86-mile-an-hour slider. It's not a lot taken off. But sometimes you just have to be able to command that first and then get the feel and then be able to have that 2-strike pitch. I wouldn't be surprised if he throws that again.
1-2, kick, pitch.
Yeah.
Dropped it outside and low. Velo now even with him at 2-2.
I mean, he threw it again. It's just, he doesn't seem to have the control that he wants out of that pitch. So now is when you as a hitter, you should know you're getting a fastball because he probably doesn't want to throw that pitch again.
2-2, fastball at strike 3 on the outside corner. He caught him looking at it. Johnson off to a solid start here in the 6th inning. 2 have been retired. Gavin Johns will step in. Talk to other teams around this league. They know what Ross has in this bullpen. It's loaded. About 8 guys out there that can just pour it in. They've got good numbers.
Yeah, I mean, when you're talking about a guy with this kind of stuff sitting at 1-6, you're not kidding with some bad luck. I mean, that's 98 miles an hour. That's again, and every time I come here and I see guys who do this, it's just you wonder why they're here. There's not some other team that's saying, yeah, we could use that. Like we can we could use that in our bullpen somewhere.
He's in AAA with the Padres last year, former Giants farmhand. The ERA is maybe a little bit higher. He had a couple of starts that didn't go so well. He's really
look like a
I
starter
think
to
he's
me,
a one-inning guy.
Yeah, I mean, it's sometimes you get put in a situation in an affiliated club that, you know, they see the 98 and they want you to be a starter and you're not, and it's just not in your DNA. Hey, look at that. And you got to go find what you're good at. And to me, he's a one-inning guy. You're talking about he closed the other night. Like, yeah, the stuff that I'm seeing is closer stuff, but you got to be able to command that breaking ball. I'd throw it here. I would love to see it here.
Here's the 1-2.
There.
And did he go? He did.
That's 90 miles an hour. It's a great slider. Oh, it doesn't matter if he went or not. That's a pitch. That's a strike.
1-2-3 inning. Chase Johnson with that shutdown frame, and he'll get Cordero, Shaver, and Robinson up in the bottom of the 6th with Lancaster trailing by 1. Pete, were you here when we had that promotion
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
Laserdome?
Oh, no,
When
never
somebody
mind. I
hit
thought you were doing
94 miles an hour. Liz Welch had to run around and hand out coupons for Laserdome.
No.
She'd never sit.
Oh, my God.
With-
Yeah.
With this bullpen, she'd
Yeah.
never sit. There's
Wow. I thought you were
There's
going
no
to
way.
talk about the Twist promotion that
you'd-
we
you'd-
did.
Yeah, you'd have
I
to
was
raise
there
it
for that one.
You'd have to raise it to what, 98.
Yeah, you'd have to, boy, because everybody's hit 94. I mean, I've only seen
Yeah,
two
the
guys,
whole
but
bullpen does, and some of the starters do.
I mean, that's what it's trending. You asked, what was it? 10, 15 years ago, the average major league velocity was like 90, 89.9.
Yeah.
Now it's the average major league velocity is like 96.
Yes.
I mean, it might even be higher than that, which
They're grooming pitchers to do that, but it's also tearing
takes a
arms
toll,
up. You
yeah.
don't get
Oh, yeah.
you don't get as many innings in,
no.
and it's creating this walk, strikeout, home run scenario.
Yeah, and that's what I can't stand. Like, I get it. Like, it's you're gonna if you can throw hard, you're not gonna not want to throw hard. I mean, I know that's not grammatically correct there, but if you can throw hard, you want to throw hard. It is harder to hit, but it becomes. You're right. you gotta
Cordero
get through it.
ground ball, base hit, left field to get the Barnstormers underway here in the 6th.
It becomes this fine line of if you can throw hard, you don't necessarily sometimes learn how to pitch. You just throw because you can throw the ball by people sometimes. So it's exactly what we talked about hitting wise too. If you can hit the ball a long way, sometimes it's just like, all right, well, just do that. Well, you can't make contact a lot. So you run into the guys who hit 220 with 35 home runs.
Well, that was the book on Chris Davis at the major league level, hitting the anywhere from 220 to 247, but cleared 40 home runs.
Yeah, and that to me, like I'm
Colton Shaver swings and misses.
I'm a little different. I'd rather have the guy who's going to hit 285, 300, the Tony Gwynn guy who's going to get on, not strike out, not the Joey Gallo guy who's going to, give you your 35 maybe, but also strike out more than Gwynn ever did in his life in 1 year.
Yeah. You and I are old school.
Yeah.
One strike to Colton Shaver, Cordero the base runner. Posey still in for the Genomes. He'll deal to the plate, and it's fouled off the end of the stick. Shaver trails 0-2. Colton today has fouled to the catcher and flied to center. And he was just off on both cases. The foul ball to the catcher, just off getting it up into the net. The fly to center, he just got underneath that a little too much.
You got a ground ball to the 6 hole here. It's going to sneak through just like the last one. He's just got to stay in on a fastball. He's got to get a middle in fastball. Let's see that.
Cordero leads off first to Shaver 0-2,
Oh,
and he
middle
gets
in
hit.
fastball. But he got hit.
The
Sure he's not happy
Barnstormers have
about it,
two
but-
guys on. Robinson, the hitter. I don't think you have Trayvon bunt right now.
Let's see where they're set up, but I would agree. I mean, let's see. You're in the what? 6th? Sometimes I rely on you for these things. 6th inning, right? Here we are. 6th inning. Behind him, you got Hoover.
Robinson
They're playing
1
it
for
like you
2.
will.
Sierra well up on the grass at third. Becker ahead of the runner at first. Robinson squares, and he'll
You know
take a
what?
ball. It's 1-0.
I know again, this is more of the high school coach in me. I'd steal him on the square because all he's got to do is beat the shortstop. If he crashes early, if we get a replay of this at some point, he sees it and they're talking to each other. So that's one of those ones. If he crashes early, if we show bunt, he crashes early, you just got to beat the third base, or you got to beat the shortstop there. So you show it. Oh man.
Robinson swings away and misses.
Is there any way we can see that first pitch from behind home plate? So there's the bunt. Look, he's there. You see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's standing on third.
1 ball, 1 strike. The count on Robinson, who has singled and struck out so far.
Because he's holding you tight at second. If you square, man.
Tying run in scoring position for Lancaster. Ball 2 is outside.
That's the old school in me. Is like, okay, look, there's a free, like you can get that guy over without having to put the bunt down. You just square and steal. They're not going to throw back behind second because the shortstop's going to run over and the second baseman potentially has to cover first. So you're vacating the middle of the field. All you have to do is beat a running shortstop and a catcher having to make a throw to a running shortstop at third.
2-1 pitch finds the inside part of the plate. Robinson now bats at 2-2. Well, the Barnstormers have the tying run at second, the lead run at first. Here in the bottom of the 6th inning, these are the situations where this club has struggled all season.
And we talked about this earlier. At an 0-0 count, you're hunting a fastball, you're hunting a pitch that you can drive. Now you get to anything with 2 strikes. Doesn't matter 2-2, 3-2. You get to the point where you have to make a productive out. And now the outs that we talked about last inning that were necessarily productive, not really meaningfully productive. This is a productive out if you can get these 2 guys over. So you got to find a way to do it.
Robinson bats 2-2, and he'll
That should
chop
do
it on
it.
the right side,
That
and
should
it
do
will
more than
only
that.
be knocked down by Becker. He was maybe looking to make the throw to second before he had possession of the ball, and Jake Hoover will bat with the bases loaded. Fielder's choice for Robinson, and an error, arguably allowing Shaver to make it safely to second base. Becker knocking it down, but didn't control it before going to make the throw.
And that's a tough play both ways. If you let that go and you let the second baseman get it, the pitcher's trying to come all the way over on a soft ground ball, so you might not have that play. The first baseman coming all the way across has to make a throw where the runner's right in front of him in the baseline. It's a tough play all around. There's not a lot you can sit there and say, well, you got to do this, you got to do that. It's just well placed. That's one of those ones that you talked about the first inning with Chris Davis. It's just put in the right spot. Just hit not hard enough to do anything with.
First error on either side today, and Lancaster has the bases loaded with nobody out. Jake Hoover will be the hitter, and with the 1-run lead, the Genomes are bringing their infielders in. They're going for the play at the plate from anywhere. Hoover needs to get the ball past the infielders. To Jake, swing and a fly ball out to left, pretty shallow. Charging in is PA.
Oh.
He will dive and he will make the catch for out number 1.
I think you got to tag on that no matter what. And I'll tell you why. Again, if you see, and I think if we go back to that, and you see that ball is chopped just like it was. I mean, it was a broken bat. Yeah. So on that, he is charging hard in. If he charges hard in and that ball lands, you're out either way. Even if you don't tag and he comes through it, you're out. Because it's barely past the shortstop. But if he catches it and falls like that and dives through it, and you're tagging, you have the ability to score. If he misses it on that dive and you're tagged, you still have the ability to score because you haven't had to sit there. It doesn't matter if you're halfway down. He's not going to be able to redirect himself and get back to that baseball.
Fastball is outside to Lair, ball 1. That is a huge out for Posey with the bases loaded.
Yeah, and it's just one of those ones where you really want a better at bat than that. And he knows it. I mean, it's not something that was a surprise to him. He's walking away from that thinking, man, I got to do better.
1-0 to Lair, and he'll take a strike. Trace has walked twice and scored once on the afternoon. The Barnstormers have not done well with the bases loaded this year, and they're 0 for 2 this afternoon. The team batting average around 220.
Yeah, the first one was with 2 outs, right?
Yes.
Now, I mean, this is where it's...
Here's the 1-1 pitch. Lair goes for it and skies this down the left side, and it will get out of play. So it is 1-2 now.
We almost had that same kid make another play. He had to run down the hill this time. He missed it, and he's upset with it. I was watching him start at the top of the hill. I can't believe he didn't fall down.
And that one's got a sling on the arm.
Yeah, he got the benefit of that ball tipping off the glove. He's about to go tell his parents, Mom, Dad, did you see I almost had 2? I almost had 2. My brother and I used to go stand behind at the old stadium in Harrisburg. I'm sure they've redone the stadium.
They have.
So it was, what was it? City Island.
City Island.
Yeah. So
I was there often.
Yeah, I loved that. It was great. We would walk over there, and it was beautiful. I loved it.
Yeah.
But they had the little area behind the stadium. My brother and I would just sit there. We wouldn't even watch a game.
Lair pops another one up. Back goes the third baseman, Sierra. He makes the catch. No chance to tag. They'll run after him and try to tag him, but Cordero already back to the bag. So that's 2 that have gone by. Now it's up to Torrance, and he's got to get a base hit.
And it's like, so this is where you can kind of see a team that doesn't necessarily do well from behind. They're kind of trying to create that huge
all this
inning.
team needs is the confidence that it can come from behind in games. We've watched this the entire season. They have the situation set up. All they need is a sac fly to tie, base hit to take the lead, and it just doesn't happen for them. We've had 2 shallow pop flies. Now here is Torrance checking and taking a strike. It is 0-1.
You get the feeling that the last 2 guys are trying to be the ones who break the game open. Instead of just saying, look, you know what? Even a ground ball double play with nobody out still gets us a run, and now we're tied. And now we're like, we don't have to play from behind because now we're just talking about a 3-inning baseball game. So it's, I mean, and you're not going to get a base hit every time you swing. You're not going to do the right thing every time you play the game, but
here's the 0-1. Torrance with a swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes. This, unfortunately, has been all too commonplace over the course of this season. Obviously, you've got 3 chances left after this one, but how often are you going to have the bases loaded with nobody out?
Correct, yeah. These are opportunities that you cannot let go by. Especially when you had the quick inning the day. This is exactly what you wanted. It's exactly what we talked about, where that you give up the 2, you get the 2 right back, you get the shutdown inning, and then you get exactly what you want. You get the first 3 guys on, bases loaded, nobody out. And it's just that gut wrenching. Like, well, now I have to get the base hit. Now I have to be the guy.
Torrance bats at 0-2. He is struck out looking and grounded to the mound on a check swing. Well, actually, that was 5-3, not 1-3. 0-2, and a Torrance. He too will pop it up. But Sierra doing a interesting skip over toward the seats. Doesn't have a play, but he decided to be entertaining with it anyhow. It is 0-2. Guys in the Atlantic League still enjoy playing the game. They're like kids out there sometimes.
Yeah. I think that guy had the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp hat on.
Your old stomping grounds?
Yeah, they were the Suns when I was there.
Yep.
I had some. My favorite one was the Jamestown Juniors, by far, and they are not in existence anymore.
Yeah, some of those smaller communities with the reorganization of minor league baseball just got killed.
Yep.
It's so unfortunate. Long baseball histories. Torrance awaits the 0-2, and he will take low.
It's a tough pitch to take, especially 0-2, bases loaded, sitting there trying to be aggressive. You don't want to, as a pitcher, you try to use that over aggressiveness. So you can easily, I mean, you're gives you the ability 0-2 to throw that. You got to have a lot of confidence in the catcher, but again, this is something you just at very least grind this at bat out.
1-2, swing and a miss, but the ball gets away. Here's a throw home. It's not in time, and the Barnstormers are able to tie it on a ball just slipping past Chase Velo. A strikeout, a wild pitch. Velo's throwback was just a little bit too high for Posey. And clearly, Cordero got in.
Yeah.
Well, not the way you plan on tying a ball game, but at this stage, you'll take it.
Yeah.
A mistake on the part of the Genomes. It was a mutation in their game plan.
You've been waiting for that?
All season.
Okay, good. Look at that. I'm glad I got to be here for it.
Povsey will be lifted. Sean Dunston Jr. will face the bullpen when we come back, as it's 4-4 here in the bottom of the 6th. New right-hander into the ball game for the Genomes is Edurbre Ramos. As you see the numbers, over 14 appearances on the year. Ramos pitched an inning here on Friday night, and unlike most of the others, he didn't give up a run. He did give up a double to Sean Dunston Jr., which was Sean's 5th hit of that night. And believe it or not, that double was in the 6th inning, his 5th hit of the game.
Wow.
Pitch here is a strike to the outside corner. Sean trailing at 0-1. He has a double today, along with a couple of flyouts to right. Bases are loaded. Shaver, Robinson, and Torrance are on. One strike to Dunston. Squibber toward third.
Oh!
And Sierra tries to make the play at the third base bag, and he will not do it. He actually more or less tackled the runner Robinson going in, and I wonder what that's all about. Why don't you make a throw there?
I don't know. I'm very confused as to why. Well, just throw the ball to first.
That's a fielder's choice and an RBI. Tried to chase down Trayvon Robinson from behind,
And he was already
more or less
past him. I
tackled him.
don't think he knew how far out he was, because that was a little squib, and
Squibber.
I don't think he knew that he
Robinson
was
was by him, and the tag was applied late, and he clearly knocked him off the base. Shaver scores, and the Barnstormers oddly, very oddly,
are
lead
in the lead.
5-4.
So I got to believe that he fielded that ball thinking that Trayvon's halfway, but he was behind his back at that point.
Here's Mercedes, who homered his last time up, and he takes a ball inside and low. Well, it's an unearned run. They both are
Just throw the ball to first.
against
Right.
Povsey here this inning. That's
That's
mind-boggling. Ball 2 is wide to Melvin, 2-0.
It stinks as a pitcher too, because you're like, what's going on here? Should be out of this inning, and now you have to throw more pitches to a guy who just hit a home run.
And a guy who's third in the league in drawing walks.
Yeah, that's not fun.
To Mercedes, here's the 2-0, and it's delivered for a strike, 2-1. Oh, a crazy sequence of events,
Yeah,
giving the
How about that?
Barnstormers the lead in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Bases loaded, nobody out, next 2 outs, and then the next 2 plays that are just so unconventional.
To Mercedes, 2-1, high and outside, and he's 1 away from forcing in another run with Dugan on deck.
I mean, any way you can get it, right?
And all of a sudden, the game could be out of reach.
Oh,
Melvin gets on, and Dugan gets hold of one. 3 balls and a strike to Mercedes. He swings and fouls that back. We get to 3-2.
I don't know if he was looking something else, but I don't think that was really even a cut fastball. He's lucky that didn't foul into him. It might have a little bit. That just rode in. I mean, a single scores 2 for sure now, 3-2. You got runners going. Any kind of ball in play that's safely hit is scoring 2 for sure. You got runners on the move.
3-2. Strike 3 is called on the outside corner, and Derek Moshe is going to hear about it. Melvin is livid. And that ends a peculiar inning. 2 runs, only 1 hit, an error, and some strange baseball. The Barnstormers leave 3.
That was not a base hit.
we talk about hitting with the bases loaded. The Barnstormers just managed to go 0 for 5 in succession and score 2 runs. What a strange inning that was. 5-4, Lancaster leading.
You look at that last call. I mean, it's probably high. Most likely you would consider that high, especially when you see it cross the plate and you see it cross at his neck. So you're going to see the ball cross at his neck. However, the way that it's supposed to be interpreted, and it still may be high. I mean, you're looking at it right now. When you get that side angle, it's at his neck. His shoulders, his neck. The way that the strike zone is supposed to be interpreted is when you walk into the box, correct?
It's when you're fully standing up. Yes.
So if you really look at it, when he stands in the box, if he stands upright, it's probably overall strike, but it's not interpreted like that.
I will guarantee you 9 times out of 10, that's ball 4.
Absolutely.
And technically, you may be right. You're
but
right
you've
in
never.
saying
How many
that.
times have you actually had that be like the case, where you're standing and you get a guy who gets into his stance? Normally, the stance is what it is, because, I mean, if it wasn't, you just get guys who just sit down, which is obviously not going to be the case. But if you look at the letter of the law, that's probably a strike, but you're right, 9 times out of 10, 9.9 times out of 10, that's a ball, and it probably should be a ball. And I'm sitting there as a pitcher going, oh my gosh, thank goodness.
And Melvin hasn't walked almost 50 times this year with that being called a strike.
Yeah.
Here is Luke Becker. He's 0 for 3. He'll be facing Josh Graham here in the 7th inning.
Like I said, as for me as a pitcher, I'm walking away there like just wiping it off my brow, saying, "Thank goodness," because I just threw ball 4.
Because if that's ball 4, it's 6-4. You have Dugan coming up with the bases loaded.
And if I know that's a strike, I'm sitting there thinking, "Oh, okay, I could do a lot more different things now."
To Becker 0-1. Graham missing outside. 2 fastballs from Josh so far. He's the one guy in the bullpen who doesn't necessarily throw 97 or 98.
He's still 91, 93.
But wait till you see the secondary stuff. 4 years in Double-A with the Atlanta Braves. Ground ball on the right side. There is Mercedes. Didn't take the at-bat into the field with him.
Yeah,
1 out. And I guarantee somewhere under the surface, he's still sizzling.
Oh, he will be until the next at-bat. He might say something when he comes up.
But
Hopefully,
enough self-discipline. He knows the situation this team is in. There's no bench. He couldn't afford to get thrown out. So he took it out on his bat and not Derek Moshe.
Yeah. And again, I think it's important that you mentioned, you get that first play, you're just playing baseball now. You cannot go back and change what just happened, but you can alter the course of the game based on what you do from that point on out.
Batter is Jimmy Paredes, 0 for 2 with a walk. Chris Davis looms on deck. To Paredes. Swing and a miss. Down a strike. Graham has terrific numbers, but he had an Achilles issue and missed 3 weeks. 1-1, 5 saves, 1.44 ERA.
Okay.
19 hits and 10 walks in 25 innings.
There's
the off-speed stiff. Yeah, that's what I was referring to. 0-2. It's back-wrenching.
Yeah. I mean, that moved 2 feet.
2 strikes to Paredes. Graham back into the motion. And he's low. Paredes experienced enough to lay off. Ball 1, 2 strikes.
From the bat, I mean, if you got a guy on second, the guy on second can see it. So if you have a good runner at second, you might be able to see some of that out of the hand. But like as a hitter, I don't know how you.
Did he go? He did not.
Oof, it's close.
2-2.
Yeah, when you have nobody on and you can just get that working. That's a good wrist strength, good wrist discipline.
That's a take.
Yeah.
Paredes played to pull. Here is the 2-2 from Graham. And it is ball 3 off the outside corner.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Are we saying that's outside? Because it's not up. I guess it's got to be. Because, again, if we're talking about what happened in the inning before, that ball's not up.
To Paredes, 3-2. They got him on that one. Graham with the strikeout, 2 gone. And now the worst that Chris Davis can do this time is tie the game. He's homered his last 2 trips after a strange infield single back in the first inning. Today has been a day of quirks.
That's just like that last pitch tells me that he has extreme confidence in the off speed.
Oh, those are his out pitches.
Yeah.
No question about it. He sets them up with the fastball.
And even to just be able to do it 3-2. I mean, if you know, that tells me that that's the pitch he probably has the most confidence. Not even just as an out pitch, just as a pitch where I need to throw a strike. Here, I'm going to throw this.
Ball is outside on Davis. It is 1-0. I can pretty much guarantee that Derek Moshe is getting some chirping out of the Lancaster dugout.
Probably from both sides.
I'm not
at this
saying that
point.
pitch was there, but close enough. Got tied up inside, swing and a miss, and the pitch got back anyway. It's 1-1.
I've seen 2 sliders that he's thrown, and the changeup obviously is the most devastating to me that I've seen. But I feel like that slider is not at its height right now. I mean, it's from all the other things that I've seen him throw.
Fastball chopped to third. Lair with the throw, and Graham posts the second straight 1-2-3 inning out of the bullpen. We're at the stretch. Lancaster leading by 1. Former American League home run champion Chris Davis has gone to work against the Barnstormers this afternoon. Kelly Dugan with an RBI long single in the third inning got the Barnstormers back within 1 before being thrown out at second. And then Davis again, this time going to the opposite field. The Wild Health Genomes were leading 4-1. But the Barnstormers have come back. First of all, Melvin Mercedes going yard with a man aboard. And then a very peculiar 6th inning. There's a diving catch for the first out with the bases loaded. And the Barnstormers would eventually score a couple of runs. This on a 3rd strike wild pitch that would have ended the inning. And the Barnstormers take the lead on a half-swing ground ball by Dunston, on which Moises Sierra oddly didn't throw to first base. He tried to chase down Trayvon Robinson for the force at third, and he was late on it. Well, the Barnstormers are up by 1. The bullpen needing to put together a couple more solid innings, and it looks like Ross is going an inning at a time out of his relief corps. Kelly Dugan, 1 for 3 with an RBI today, leads off the 7th against Ramos. And a Kelly swing, and he hits the ball to left center field. Gliding over is Teodoro Martinez for the catch. Dugan's off his game right now. He was able to pull the single to drive in the run back in the 3rd inning. But when you have those left-handed sluggers and their timing's just a little off, all of a sudden, those balls they were pulling out of the yard to right become routine fly balls the other way. And that's the rut he's in.
Yeah, and it's, I mean, he's hit every ball that he's hit out to there has just been skied. So it's not for lack of hitting the ball hard. He's just his timing's off, like you said. Some of those things are just either being kind of tricked by some pitches or whatever it may be. But when you have that just that small millisecond of timing like that, it goes from the double in the gap to fly ball to left.
Cordero hits this off the end of his bat, but it's traveling. PA going back, all the way back, and that one is off the fence. And Cordero into second.
You and I think we both got fooled, but I don't know if that necessarily was off the end of his bat.
It looked like it
I
was.
thought so too.
When,
it looked like he just got
it.
out in front, but you watch Pia, he went right back. He turned around and just tried to find a spot. I mean, it kind of was off the end of his bat, but
It wasn't off the barrel.
No.
But all the way to the Wegman sign.
One hop the wall.
And another 3-hit game for Cordero. That's his 9th 3-hit game of the season. He's in scoring position. The batter, Colton Shaver, 0 for 2, and he's been hit by a pitch. Lancaster would love an insurance marker. Ball 1 is inside. Colton has to be wondering what he did to the Genomes. Well, in truth, he has 9 runs batted in the season series and 15 hits. Good looking breaking ball, and it's 1-1. Shaver batting, Robinson on deck. You've got a couple of shots at getting this run home. Barnstormers overall today 2 for 12 with runners in scoring position. Now 2-1. Robinson waiting on deck. Well, this should go down in the books as a come from behind win for the Barnstormers.
Yeah.
If the bullpen holds on for the rest of it. Shaver will look at a second strike. It's 2-2. And I believe that's Schumann warming up in the bullpen.
I believe you're right.
It's absolutely Schumann. 5 years of watching
Yeah,
that
very
wind up, I
distinct,
know
yeah.
it's very distinctive. Here's a 2-2.
Ooh.
Shaver almost hit by a fastball again. And once more, Colton Shaver's batting at 3-2. Lancaster hoping to pull away here in the 7th inning. And the payoff is strike 3 on the outside corner. Great pitch from Ramos with the slider.
He didn't agree with that one either. There's a, I mean, yeah, you're right. There's
I think it's just in everybody's head right now.
yeah. That's always a tough one too, as a catcher not agreeing with it, because then you got to go back out and sit right under that guy, and have that conversation, or lack of. But it.
Now it's up to Trayvon Robinson. He's 1 for 3 on the day. Fastball away, and it's ball 1. Robinson may not see much with the right-handed batting Hoover on deck. Hoover hitless today. Robinson, 3 hits, 3 runs batted in last night. He hit his first home run of the season. Cordero leads off second. And to Trayvon, that ball is smoked toward right center field. And this ball will get out to the gate. It's going to be 6-4. And Robinson will gallop into second with an RBI double. Lancaster up by 2, and they very much earned this run. Couple of hard hit doubles here in the 7th inning.
Yeah, and you're right. You kind of think you would have thought that he wasn't going to get much to hit, and you just fed him a middle in fastball.
Robinson has 7 hits in this series and now has driven in 6 runs, and that's why I'm surprised he got anything there. He's tearing it up from the left side of the plate. Here is Hoover. Jake will look at a fastball in too close. Lancaster up by 2, a little bit of breathing room here in the 7th inning.
Unless that's just a missed spot, you know, you wouldn't think you're trying to throw that pitch.
Hoover gets ball 2. Lair waits on deck. 5 runs over the last 3 innings, 5 unanswered runs scored by the Barnstormers in the latter innings of this game. And these are the games this team ultimately will need to win, trying for their 8th in a row here at home. Hoover bats 2-0. He's got Robinson in scoring position. Ramos to the plate, deals that hook for a strike. It's 2-1. He's had better command of that. Eight hits for the Barnstormers in the game, 3 doubles and a home run. Hoover tied up inside with a foul tip. Now 2-2. Sierra, Shaw, and Piet are scheduled in the 8th inning. And with Schumann looking like he's going to throw the 8th, Ross could go back to West Tunnel, I suppose, for the 9th inning. Tunnel threw last night, faced 5 batters. Two-two. Hoover swings and misses. So the inning is over, but the Barnstormers pick up another run. A couple of doubles in the inning, 1 man left. And at the end of 7, 6-4 Lancaster. Lancaster ahead by a pair as we go into the top half of the 8th inning. And Scott Schumann back to the familiar haunts of being the 8th inning guy. Of course, he was the Atlantic League closer of the year last year and started as the Barnstormers closer here in 2022 and then suffered a strained forearm muscle that had him set down for a while. But when you look at all the numbers over Schumann's career, not just as a Barnstormer, but Bridgeport and Long Island before arriving here at Clipper Magazine Stadium, he is, by some certainly objective measures, the greatest reliever in Atlantic League history.
Yeah, I mean,
He's the all-time league leader in ERA and strikeouts per 9 innings.
he just has electric stuff, and it's always a tough, because his arm angle's weird. Not weird, it's just different, and it's so short, and you wouldn't expect the guy who is that short to be able to just throw like he does, and it just, for guys to be able to time that up, and then for him to have the secondary stuff that he does, you don't expect it to get on you that quick, even though you know it's going to get on you that quick. It still jumps on you, and it still surprises you.
He has only thrown 9 innings this year. He's given up 1 earned run, has a loss in the 10th inning, and that's an unearned run. And strikeouts are down. He's only fanned 8. He's walked 2. He's allowed 7 hits. But it's been a battle because of the injury. Since coming back, 3 innings, 5 hits. A wild pitch cost him the run. He's facing Moises Sierra, the third baseman, leading off here in the 8th. He is 0 for 3, and I'm still trying to figure out the play he made at third base back in the 6th inning, trying to get Robinson instead of throwing to get Dunston.
Yeah, that's one of the more confusing ones. More confusing plays I've seen, definitely, in this game, for sure.
Schumann will go to work on Sierra. First pitch to the inside corner for a called strike. It's 0-1. Scott's best outing since coming back was his one earlier on this homestand. He had a 1-2-3 inning against York with a strikeout back on Wednesday. 0-1, and Sierra pops this up on the right side. That is coming back out of play. Schumann's ahead at 0-2.
I bet there hasn't been many times in his career that he hasn't been the hardest throwing guy on the team.
And he's not.
And he's not. You're right. Yeah.
As a matter of fact, he may be
Three or
4.
Right? Yeah.
Tunnel hits 98. We've seen Johnson at 98. Goodson hits 98. Wow. Schumann sits high 96. Here's the 0-2. And that is lined up for it. Goes Mercedes for the catch. Put a star by that one in the scorebook, but I'm used to it.
That's a tough one because it wasn't super hard hit, so you have to time the jump right. If you time it early, it kind of gets on you. Oh, man, look at this. Off the end of the bat. That was full extension up there, too.
Melvin goes airborne.
What a play.
He is one of my all-time favorites to watch here. He does it all. And now he hits home runs.
Yeah, right?
Turn this game around. His 2-run blast back in the 5th inning.
That's your favorite thing as a pitcher when you're like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. You say the same thing 3 times, it means 2 different things.
Strike taken by Shaw, who has walked twice and grounded out. Lancaster leading by 2. The bullpen has retired 7 in a row. Check swing by Shaw, and the count levels at 1-1. Schumann started off around 94. He's accelerated into the 96s. Doesn't take him long. 34 years of age, from Valdosta, Georgia. Shaw swings and misses as Schumann took a little bit off of that. It is 1-2.
How long has he been in this league? I mean, he's
been in this league since 15. He joined us in 17.
Yeah.
He came in midway through 15 with Bridgeport.
You're talking a guy who was, what, 26, 27 when he got in the league? That's for his stuff. Like, we've talked about this a lot with some of the guys that you see. With his stuff and his pedigree and the things that he's done in this league.
With the year he had in 18, and he did go to Mexico that year, and what he did last year, the fact that he has not gotten a shot in a major league organization is mystifying. 2-2 on Shaw, bang, foul, straight back.
It's not like it's not been consistent. You're talking about the model of consistency there. Somebody who's done it year in and year out and not really been given an opportunity to do it somewhere.
And he has hit 97 on Shaw. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And that swung out and missed. He took something off again. But his secondary pitches have gotten better over the years. He's always been a flamethrower. In fact, when he was in the Tampa Bay system, he threw 100. But he walked about a guy an inning.
Yeah.
Hey, he's polished his craft.
And that's what we had talked about earlier, too, a little bit. The guys who sometimes have that velo but can't command the velo. But he's a guy now that still has it and can command it. And we just saw a 91-mile-an-hour breaking pitch that just was late life, depth. And, I mean, if you look at the replay, it looked like the swing looks good, but it's not close. That swing was not close. Same area. And to the naked eye, you're like, man, he didn't almost get that. It was not close. Same thing there. That pitch is a fantastic pitch, and you're making professional hitters look silly.
And guys that have played Major League Baseball.
Yeah, who have seen that day in and day out.
1 strike on PA. Gets him to lurch again. It's 0-2. We're seeing Scott Schumann is back.
Yeah.
We're seeing Josh Graham is back. I
You
talked
weren't
about
kidding about
50.
that
You remember
bullpen.
how dominant that bullpen was the second half of the year with you and Walden and Gracie, and you could go on down the list.
You just knew what your role was, and that's such a big thing too.
Here's the 0-2, taken high on the fastball.
And you're seeing the toughest part with him is everything is out of the same arm slot, which is hard to do. Throwing out of that same arm slot with his same arm action and the same arm speed, and then it just varies. It goes from the last 15, 20 feet. The ball just goes one way or the other or rides on you, and you don't know which one it's going to do because you have no time.
1-2, taken toward the alley in left center field, down for a base hit. PA reaches on the 2-out single, and Teodoro Martinez will step in.
But not a great contact. I mean, you got contact, but ball's just kind of fisted out there. Same thing with what happened to the one that Mercedes caught. It wasn't smoked. Those are the ones that he's got to, you just have to stay out of the middle of the plate.
Martinez steps in. He's the potential tying run here in the 8th inning. 2 outs and a man aboard. Breaks up the streak of 11 straight outs for the Lancaster staff. And Martinez, he stepped back out of the way. He was taking that the entire time, and it is ball 1 off the outside corner. The catcher, Velo, waits on deck. 6-4 Lancaster. Just 5 hits today for the Genomes. One ball, no strikes. Schumann comes back, and he is off the inside corner, 2-0. And all of a sudden, there's a bit of an issue here in the 8th inning. It was 2 outs and 2 strikes.
I mean, this has happened to me too. It's very hard to explain and very hard to understand when you get the first 2 outs so quickly. You'd think, okay,
2-0 is hit high
up,
left
stay
field.
up. We're good.
Torrance has a play. He's back for the catch. Schumann through the 8th. 1 hit and 1 left. The Barnstormers will need 3 more outs. Meanwhile, Laird, Torrance, and Dunston will step in the bottom of the 8th with Lancaster leading by 2. There we have fans who come, they're Barnstormers fans, and they come all the way down from Long Island
Oh yeah,
every weekend.
really?
They're here and then join us as well when we play at Staten Island and Long Island. And then, of course, there's the great math teacher / on-field host, Ed Novakoski. He is an absolute treasure. He's become such a part of Barnstormers baseball now.
Nice hat. You're not gonna get. You gotta.
He's got a
cover up
collection,
there.
believe
Yeah. No sunburn on that neck.
We have a 2-run lead and a new pitcher on for the Wild Health Genomes. You're in the 8th inning. Another right-hander. They haven't challenged the Barnstormers with any lefties out of their bullpen in this series. It'll be Laird, Torrance, and Dunston, and we'll see if the Barnstormers can pick up a little more insurance.
What is Vegemite? It's that. I'm listening to this music.
I don't have a number that matches up with 10. What is Vegemite?
It's like a spread, isn't it?
They use
Yeah.
it. In Australia, it's their version of peanut butter, but it's actually vegetable mold.
I was gonna say I'm not having Vegemite and jelly, am I? Like,
It's
Is that-
it's vegetable mold is what it is. They love it in Australia. The only time I've ever been around it myself
Have you had
was I have not eaten it, but I was
Okay.
at a bachelor party once.
yeah, Vegemite's big at bachelor parties, I think.
Where I was. It was a church group in Northern Virginia. I was sort of loosely associated with.
I don't think those two things has ever been in the same sentence. Vegemite and bachelor party. Like, yeah, you're the first one to ever say that.
This group for bachelor parties used to exploit the bachelor's weaknesses, and this guy was a fussy eater, and they made him eat Vegemite.
Oh, that's
so
funny. Okay. All right.
Trace Lair starts off
Vegemite.
the Lancaster half of the 8th inning.
Can you get Vegemite anywhere around here, you think? You got to be able to get it, right?
I would think
Somebody's
so.
got to have Vegemite.
Alexis Candelario, veteran Atlantic Leaguer, is the new pitcher. To Lair, a strike on the outside corner. It's 0-1. I did hear they were bringing him in. Candelario made the rounds last year. To Lair, 0-1, and in the zone for a second strike. 0-2. Bottom of the 8th, Lancaster leading by 2, and we'll see the 4th straight right-handed reliever come in for the 9th inning.
You'd like to get another one here. Just
Ground ball, fair inside the bag at third.
you got to stay at one, though. Stay at first.
Minor bobble by PA, and Lair will stay at first base. That's a great piece of hitting.
Yeah.
I love it when a
Absolutely.
left-handed batter can go inside the third base bag.
Now, so he took his glove off and he threw it. Did you see that?
If he made contact with the ball, it's 2 extra bases.
Yeah. I just don't think you should be able to do that at all. Like, keep your glove on. Like, and I know that was like, he's not really doing it. It's a joke. He's you know, he's not throwing the ball. He's not throwing his glove. He's just mad that he was not in the position to make the play. It's fine. Like, I have no problem
Sierra's
with it.
been a show within
Yeah.
the show here today. He was doing a
That little
hop,
run,
skip, and a
yeah.
jump on
Yeah.
a foul ball, and
No, I mean,
trying
I
to
have
run
no,
down
I have,
Robinson.
I have no real issue with it. It's just there are like, don't take your glove off and throw it. Next thing you know, you're gonna have a little kid do that in a game. Like, well, I saw the third baseman do it.
Lair the runner on. It's 1-0 on Devon Torrance. Ball 2 below the knees. Candelario had not been pitching this year. He is 40 years of age now. from
40.
Asua in the Dominican Republic.
All right.
He's pitched a lot of different places. Italy. Very rarely in the U.S., but he pops in and out of the Atlantic League from time to time. Ball 3, missing outside. 3-0. He was a Somerset Patriot for 7 starts in 2016. 4 appearances for the Ducks in 19. Last year, he pitched for Gastonia and West Virginia, and he was in the league most of the season. Pitched for Mark Minikazi in Charleston. There's a strike, and Torrance bats 3-1.
If Torrance can get on, not if you can get. If Torrance can get on here, I would take Dunson. I would bunt him. I would try to get, because you're not playing for that big inning. You're not. I mean, if you get it, great. But now you're trying to just get that one, and you're trying to snake out that 3-run advantage going into the ninth.
Full count to Devon, 3-2. Last year, Candelario was 3-9 with a 7.44 ERA. Barnstormers faced him multiple times. He might have even been the opening night starter for Gastonia, but I know we saw him at Caramount Health Park that first series. 3-2. Torrance will take ball 4.
I think they called a balk, so he's
Yeah.
going to have to stay. He's going to have to come back. Unless
No, they were signaling for the appeal.
Yeah. Was he? No, because he
Or-
pointed to,
or-
if you go
no,
back,
yeah.
watch this. But it's the result of the pitch, too. So you get the result of the pitch. Because if it was a strike, you'd get the ball. Because it's a ball, you get the result of that pitch.
It's a walk.
Yeah.
First and second, and here's Dunston. 1 for 4 with a run scored and a run batted in. Candelario shakes his head.
So he probably doesn't stop. No, he didn't stop.
He didn't stop.
No. And that's, again, they don't really
And
call that a lot.
They signal the balk.
Yeah, so he's pointing to second. The umpire is pointing to second, moving him up. But if that's a strike, then you get the balk and you go back. But if it's a positive result for the team that's facing, the offensive team.
Usually the pitch just gets wiped off the board. I know catcher's interference
So,
has that rule.
The way that the way that I thought I interpreted or understood it is you're not supposed to call the balk until the result of that. Because if you got a base hit there, this is where I would do.
That's inside and low and gets away from Velo, and now no more need for the bunt.
There you go. But that's what we talked about earlier. If you get those two guys on, then yes, I would bunt and try to get those two guys over. However, now you don't need the bunt. Going back to the balk, my understanding is
I see that again. That's a pass ball. We'll see
Yeah,
how
he
it's
should've.
ruled. But
it's a
watching the
missed
replay,
spot, but you got a glove on it, and you know it's something you probably should catch.
watching the replay, it looked more like a pass ball. It goes down in the books as wild pitch. Infield plays in. 1-0 to Dunston is inside. 2 balls and no strikes.
This is always I always thought kind of a funny situation definitely for me as a closer, because I didn't want that run on second to score.
And Dunston hits a seed into right field, a base hit, 1 run scores. Torrance is coming, and he will cross as well. 2-run single for Dunston, and now it's 8-4.
So now I'm curious, who pitches?
He's got tunnel up. He'll, I
Yeah.
think, stick with him.
Because of the day off tomorrow, I would probably
Yes.
say, yeah, you do that. But I was always, as a reliever, as a closer for sure, because now, I just come in and I just pitched. I didn't get a save. I always liked, that's a selfish thing to want, because you're saying, hey, don't score because I want to save.
The Barnstormers have scored 4 straight innings. They lead 8-4. It took a couple of hiccups for the Genomes to give the Barnstormers the lead, but now that they have it, they've been able to stretch it out. Throw to first, Dunston back. Sean Dunston, 17. It should be out of 20 in stolen bases. Mercedes will take a ball outside, 1-0.
I'll bet he goes at some point in this at bat. Just because you're up 4, now you can get, if you can get in there and just kind of disrupt and get another one, now you're just trying to get as many as you can, obviously. I mean, you want to get as many as you can, obviously, in a game, but I bet he goes within the next 2 pitches.
High and outside, make it 2-0.
Now I take that back. Now 2-0. If you get back to 2-1 or 2-2, I could see him going 2-0. What's the point? We're not gonna, we're not. I personally would not go at this point. But if you get back to 2-1, then I could see it.
Good sized lead for Sean. Held by Becker over at first. Candelario to the plate, and that's lying toward the gap in right
Oh, he's
center
gonna
field.
score. He'll score.
That is going all the way to the fence. Dunston
Get on 3. Get on 3.
accelerating. He's going to score.
That's a stand-up.
Mercedes on the way to third with a triple. His 5th 3-base hit of the season. Melvin's having himself a day. The Barnstormers now lead by 5 and got Mercedes at third, and still nobody out in this 8th inning. Dugan is 1 for 4 with an RBI. He knocked in the first Lancaster run of the day. The Barnstormers have had themselves a weekend here. And you're seeing what this team is capable of doing. Infield will play in against Dugan. Mercedes, the runner at third. Kelly, ground ball right to second. Mercedes will hold, and Paredes throws on to get Kelly. 1 out. That brings on Cordero, who has 3 hits. And first of all, Dugan's going to have the bell ring again. He's in a bit of a drought right now. He's gone a week without hitting a home run, and we didn't think that was possible earlier
Hey, I've
this
gone
year.
36 years without hitting a professional home run, so a week you can do.
But there are a couple more hot streaks in Kelly.
I'm sure
that it will happen.
Yep.
To Cordero, that's lined toward right center field. He's got a base hit, and the Barnstormers have 10. Cordero with his first 4-hit game of the season. The Barnstormers have opened it up wide open here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. They have scored 4 runs off of Candelario and Colton Shaver will step in.
Now you got somebody else in the bullpen, I believe, right? That doesn't.
Yeah, I don't
You were
think that's
talking
West
about the-
Tunnel anymore.
Yeah, because I was looking for the hair and I saw the hair and now I don't see the hair and I'm wondering if
Yeah,
he got
and
a haircut in the last 2 minutes or
this
we put somebody else in.
this is bigger.
That's where I was very
Strike
selfish
taken
about
by
being-
Shaver. It's 0-1.
about being a
Closer, because now I'm just like I know, and this is just how I was, and this is normally how most closers are. They don't want to come into a game that's 10-4. It's you don't have that adrenaline rush, and you're so used to that adrenaline rush of getting the last 3 outs of a game that is so close. Now when you don't have it, I was always prone to give up 2 to 3 runs.
Yeah.
Like it would just because I wasn't.
Focused.
I just wasn't as focused. I was so locked in, like hyper locked in to get there, and then we score all those runs, and then you just kind of be like, oh, well, I'm not going to give up 6, right? And then you give up 3, and you're like, oh, man, like, what was I doing?
Breaking ball wasted to Shaver. He didn't bite for it. It's ball 1, 2 strikes. Colton quiet at the plate today. He's 0 for 3 and has been hit by a pitch, but he's been a stalwart behind it. Here's a 1-2, and it's now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Still just 1 out in the inning, and Robinson on deck. Barnstormers have scored 9 unanswered runs over the last 4 innings, and I said they had to get over the speed bump of getting the lead in this game, and those 2 runs were gifted. But once the Barnstormers got the lead, they have just taken it and they have run away and they have hidden.
And that's the thing. Like, you hope that this is a catalyst to them seeing, like, yeah, what, like, we can do it. We're not just going to lay over and roll over every time we're down.
3-2 pitch, bounded foul. Shaver will stay in. This team has the potential of something special. I was talking with Melvin Mercedes the other day, and they know it down there. There's still a need, I think, to replace, to some extent, Ladarius Clark and get another outfielder in here. You can't replace the entire skill set. He's maybe the most talented player in the league. But get another outfielder in here, maybe an average hitter or a speed guy. To me, it doesn't matter. Ground ball third. This could be 2. Sierra will go to second for 1 and on to first. They will turn it on Colton Shaver. That gets the Barnstormers back out into the field for the 9th inning. They score 4 and 4 hits here. And we will go to the 9th with the Barnstormers up 10-4. Well, the Barnstormers now lead by 6 as we go to the top of the 9th. And this, in fact, will be West Tunnel coming into the game. Or, no, I take that back. It's Tyler Sullentrop now in. So they did change off. With the 6-run lead, no need to get Tunnel out there, and Sullentrop will take over. 4th straight hard-throwing right-hander brought in by manager Ross Peoples, and he could keep it going for a while if he had to. Sullentrop, 2-2 with a 2.87 ERA, 30th appearance of the year. I'm sorry, that's 2.67 ERA. Tyler Sullentrop now in. Another guy who throws over 95, Pete.
Oh, well, yeah, why not?
Yeah,
Let's
three
get
out,
all
of,
of
three out of the 4 relievers. And Graham has that crazy off-speed stuff.
Bring me back, I'd be the guy who just like flips it in between all the guys who throw 98.
You'd be Watanabe on this team.
Oh, 100%.
What do you still have left in the arm? Anything?
I don't know. Honestly, well, I know what I did the other day. I was throwing off the mound, like trying to show a kid. I was giving a lesson to a kid, with a kid. And I showed him the mechanics that I thought should be done, and I threw it, and I think it was 84.
Well, at least it's something.
Oh, yeah, it came out, and it was a strike, and he was like, man, that's good. And it was harder than he was throwing, and I felt good about that. That was all I needed. Also, he was 12, so I think it went a little long way.
Pick the matchups that make you feel good about
Yep,
yourself.
You got it.
Here's Chase Velo against Tyler Sullentrop. Fastball is high, and that one clocked at 97 on the stadium gun.
So he leads the team in appearances. Huh? He's got.
Now this is
Well,
number,
now he's
this is
one
number
up.
30.
Yeah. So I still should be
Oh yeah, you
free
got
and clear
you got that.
then, huh?
Yep, 2-0.
all right.
The Sullentrop hasn't gotten the ball down yet. 6'3", 225 pounds from Florida, west of Fort Lauderdale. Ready to go with the 2-0. That's by Velo. Again, a little something off the fastball, but there for a strike. Barnstormers need 3 outs. They lead by 6. This has been an impressive performance today, and it's, again, one more piece to the puzzle. They've come from behind. Ball 3 now missing to Velo. It's 3-1. Gavin Johns, the shortstop, waits on deck. Sullentrop will bring it, and the fastball is past him, 3-2.
These are kind of, again, like we talked about, kind of weird situations to come into when you're up by 6 and you only need 3 outs, because you don't want to not. I mean, you want to be able to throw all your pitches, but giving away free bases is annoying, and
Here's a payoff, and he walks him.
it's just kind of hard because you feel like if you don't throw middle fastballs, like you want to force them to hit, but you also want to be able to pitch still. So it's that weird balance of like, okay, just throw him a fastball, let him hit it, and you're not going to give up 6 most likely. And then if you start missing with breaking balls, then it's like, hey, just throw the fastball down the middle. Okay, I can, but that doesn't make me the pitcher that got me here. It's not who I am. And I don't know, it's a delicate balance, and it's a weird scenario.
Johns 0 for 2 with a sac fly, and he takes Sullentrop into center for a base hit. Now it's first and second with nobody out. And you get to the top of the order, and Becker. Now those 4 runs in the bottom of the 8th look huge. Although it would have been Tunnel, not Sullentrop, I do believe. Three outs still needed. Becker has been quieted the last couple of days after hitting a home run and 2 doubles here on Friday night. Infielders look for 2. And a Becker breaking ball, missing low and inside. It's 1-0.
And that's what we're talking about. He's been throwing fastball, and now it's like, all right, well, I can't just keep feeding fastballs down the middle. So you throw that pitch, a good off-speed pitch, but that's the pitch you throw with 2 strikes. And that's the one you kind of just have to flip in sometimes.
He's low ball 2. And now you've got to think about getting somebody else warmed up in the bullpen.
Yeah, because
Ross isn't there yet, but you've got to think about it.
You look at his numbers, and he's got 30 innings and 20 walks. So, it's not fantastic. It's something you really got to keep an eye on.
Generally, they've been spread out for him. 2 balls and nothing. And a Becker, strike called. And that registered 98 on the stadium gun. 2 balls and 1 strike.
It's a big out just to be able to attack this guy. And in this situation, it's hard not to think about the 2 guys that you have on base.
Check swing. He did not go, says Nate Caldwell. 3 balls and a strike.
But you kind of have to block them out because the most important guy you're facing is the guy in the box. And let's see. Ooh, that's a tough one. And when you have 3 umpires and you got one station behind the mound, it's a very difficult one to see.
You don't have the same view.
No, definitely not.
3 balls and a strike.
That's almost when you kind of go. I remember.
Sullentrop fires, gets a little bleeder foul, 3-2.
2010, I believe, I was in the fall league, and they had experimented with going with the offside umpire to see that break in the hands. So, in that situation, you would have appealed to the first base umpire. So, I mean, I get it. In a 3-man crew, you probably should because there's no way that guy can see it, but the other guy can definitely see the handbrake.
Payoff pitch coming. Sullentrop to Becker. The step, the 3-2. He got him. A swing and a miss with the fastball. A very big out here in the 9th inning. And the 9th strikeout for Lancaster pitching today, so that 1 strikeout an inning pace continues.
That's where having that velocity in the tank really helps out because that may have been a ball, but you have to make a decision so quickly. So when you start firing that bat in those hands, and it might be, that might have been 6 inches up, 6 inches out. But still, when you've got 98 coming at you, you got to get going.
Jimmy Paredes steps in. He has a walk today, 0 for 3 officially. Below at second, Johns the runner at first base, and a Paredes breaking ball, and it dances just off the inside corner, 1-0.
I always find that hard to believe that that's a ball because it's off the inside corner. It had to cross to get to that spot because he didn't catch it 6 inches inside. He caught it an inch inside.
Yeah.
If he catch it an inch inside, it didn't stay straight the whole way. It had to cross at some point, and it didn't cross high. But that's just the ex-pitcher, huh?
Ball 1-0. Fouled to the net. We have a 1 ball and 1 strike count. A bit of a challenge here in the top half of the 9th inning. The Genomes had a 10.5-hour bus ride to get here to start this series on Friday, so they want to come out of here with something.
Yeah, you don't want to have to go 10.5 back with nothing to show for it.
It's a Paredes 1-1. Another foul. Heard that rattle around inside the stadium. Ball 1 and 2 strikes the count.
I don't know. I mean, I would throw a, personally, well, being me, I would throw a breaking ball. But you got the option to kind of shake off to the fastball and try to get up there, or to try to throw that in the dirt breaking ball, knowing you really don't care if those guys advance.
Here's a 1-2, and he went for it. Again, a check swing. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the Genomes do, in fact, go back home. They take on the Gastonia Honey Hunters on Tuesday night. They have the off day to get back.
Is that a league-wide off day mostly on Mondays?
Mondays.
When that happens? Okay.
All of minor league baseball now.
Okay.
I can't speak for the other partner leagues, but affiliated, they all have Monday off, play Tuesday through Sunday. We're doing it also.
Is it
except
every
for Memorial Day, 4th of July.
Okay. Every Monday, or is it just when you have the day, it's Monday?
It's every Monday.
Oh, really? Wow.
We play Tuesday through Sunday every week.
Oh, geez. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Because there'd be times we didn't get days off
for 30
weeks.
days. Yeah. 3-2 to Jimmy Paredes.
This is
2
big.
on, 1 out. Huge pitch here. And the payoff swung on and fouled away again. Still 3-2. He is popping some pitches. He's hit 98.3.
Wow.
And steadily in the 97s.
Yeah.
It's like there's a competition.
I know.
And I think behind the scenes there is.
I'm sure.
Here's a payoff to Paredes. Another foul. He's getting locked into the fastball, I think.
And
so you try and throw a breaking ball somewhere near the zone.
Yep. So, but you saw the last one he threw that was pretty good. It was down zone, and he just spit on it and took it and said, I'm good. So that kind of stays in the back of your head when you thought, I threw a pretty good one. And he didn't even come close to swinging at that.
Payoff on Paredes, 3-2. He
And
got him with it. A swing and a miss, and that's 2 here in the 9th inning. And it will set Sullentrop up against Chris Davis, who's homered twice.
That thing just fell off the table. That's a great pitch. And that's awesome to be able to, again, understand the situation where if you walk the guy, a home run, you're still up by 2. Like, so you got to go try to get the guy out. You obviously don't want to just feed him fastballs because he's fouled off 4 in a row. And there's a lot of confidence in the catcher, a lot of confidence in being able to throw that pitch just anywhere close to the zone.
Went from 97-mile-an-hour heat to an 85-mile-an-hour breaking ball, and Paredes fanned on it. Chris Davis homered to left in the 3rd and to right in the 5th. 3 out of 4 overall. Sullentrop deals, swing and a miss. It is 0-1. Sullentrop released by the Chicago Cubs organization right toward the end of spring training. Barnstormers picked him up, and he's just fit nicely into this bullpen. 0-1 to Davis, a breaking ball. It's popped up the shallow right. Mercedes back, Dugan in. The Barnstormers sweep.
All right.
Chris Davis flies out the shallow right. Sullentrop gets off to a shaky start. Gets out of it without a run. The Barnstormers have won their 8th straight game here at Clipper Magazine Stadium. The High Point Rockers coming in on Tuesday, and we'll have that entire series for you here on Blue Ridge 11. 10-4 our final today, and now for my partner Pete Andrelzik, the guys on the truck and the guys on the cameras, as well as the cast and crew here at Clipper Magazine Stadium. I'm Dave Collins. Have a great Monday off day. We'll talk to you Tuesday night and see you at the ballpark.